TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. That's your name. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you. If you quit playing, won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, boo. See, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you if you quit playing. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see your swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you on a mission. I had to know you, I'm Tim. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me. I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I'll give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you if you quit playing. Won't you take the chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. That's your name.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming here at the TSWS Gaming channel on okay, my Amazon just decided to just interrupt me. That's pretty cool. But anyways, and that's unplugged. Anyways, welcome y'all. I appreciate that. But anyways, Cassie Cage is here with me today. I always trip over your goddamn name, but I got it this time. I'm gonna say it correct. Cult Classic Cage is your channel. Yes. Did it right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't extra about it. Like, just purposely make my name a tongue twister just to mess everyone up. Yes.
Yeah, I was telling people just a couple days ago when I had Jack Move on that you were going to be on, and I was tongue twisting it, and then I actually said it right. And somebody in the chat was like, damn, that is a hell of a name. And I was like, no shit, man, I can't get this shit right.
I'm a pain in the ass by nature, so it just works out.
Well, let's go on ahead and get into it. I appreciate you being here. Oh, man, you even came in under the weather. So, I mean, that's a strong person right there.
when I say I'm gonna do something, I really do my best to make sure like I hold to that commitment, unless it's like very, very serious or something like that. But for the most part, I'm getting better. So it's like, man, I'm gonna do this. I don't want to leave Ham Solo hanging, bro. It's the last thing I want to do, you know.
I appreciate that. Much respect for that. Hustle and Motivate, what up? Orange Hat Reviews, what's cracking? Good to see
What's
y'all
good,
up in
homies?
the chat already. We'll be having some more people roll through here, so it'll be pretty interesting as we go along. But since we're started right now, in case, you know, some people come through for the playback later and they're not sure exactly who you are, go on ahead and let everybody know, like, what gaming and social media platforms that you're on, in case you want them to contact you to game, be on a show, or just ask general questions.
Well, I keep it really simple. Even though my name is a real pain in the ass, you can find me Cult Classic Cage on YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. It's the same thing, you know, in all three of those places. I just love talking about video games or film on Twitter. So, or just talking about just anything, man. Anything that's cool. If you want to just have conversation, I'm pretty open to talking to anyone as long as there's mutual respect there. So
Absolutely.
you can always hit me up there if you want to talk. And Twitch, I like to play video games. I always play some crazy ass shit. It's a cool place to just hang, play games, and YouTube. I love talking, you know, video games, what's going on, what I'm interested in. YouTube is just like a reflection of just what I'm interested in. It could be video games, it could be films. I was planning to definitely do more videos than I have been, but I got sick. So I was planning to do a Hellraiser review. I'm still going to do that, but it's going to come after Halloween ends review. So yeah, I just like, for me, doing the stuff is just like, it's for fun. That's all it is. So if y'all want to come hang with me, have some fun, you're always welcome to.
Yeah, and you know, she's all over on YouTube. She be on other people's channels, featuring in shows and whatnot. But you also do your Twitch thing as well, and I've showed up and watched you play some games a few different times. Really fun to listen to you interact with your community.
Of course,
you always keep it moving. You always keep it, you know, live. It's not one of them awkward, like just sitting there watching somebody stare at the screen. I'm bad at that. I'm bad at that.
Yeah. Oh, it is very difficult. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm naturally very I don't really talk very much. So it's like when I do YouTube and Twitch, it's like the most talking I ever do. And I don't know, it's just something in me that clicks where I can just keep things sort of interesting, or at least I think is interesting. Overall, like how I am is like when I do YouTube or Twitch and stuff like that is like the kind of content that I like to see when I'm watching other people. That's basically how I've always tried to be when it has come to doing, you know, YouTube, Twitch, and such. So,
well, I respect your work and keep it moving. Yeah, definitely keep going
Definitely.
at that shit, because it's just gonna get better. It's just gonna get better. But anyway, let me run into the chat and see what they're saying. They Hustle and Motivate says feel better soon.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Shout out to Hustle, dope
We
dude.
fighting. He is. He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. Big respect to Hustle. He actually put me onto your channel.
Oh, word?
Way back. Yeah, he did. So definitely, he always be looking out for everyone. So definitely gotta give him a big shout out.
That's a good brother right there. Yeah, I had him on the show a while back, and that was a really interesting episode. I actually showed I asked everybody the question at the end of the show, like, to describe gaming in 3 words. And he looked over because I did like a compilation of different people that have been on the show. And I'm gonna do that like every 6 months, like a compilation of different people and stuff like that, just so people can see who was on the show and what they had to say about it and whatnot. And Hustle listened back to what he said, and he's like, what the hell was I talking about? And I thought that joint was funny. But shout out to Dre Watson as well. He said, what up, everyone? 100%. Shout out to Cassie, 100.
Yeah, Dre's an awesome dude. Definitely a cool guy.
Yeah, he does. He does spaces, I believe, every week. I showed up to his last one. Pretty dope stuff. I really like what they had to say. They are very opinionated, which is good to have in
definitely.
gaming. I mean, everybody. I mean, you don't want to hear like a domino where everybody's saying the same damn thing.
No.
It just sounds
Playing
boring.
it safe. Who wants to do that? Who wants to listen to that? It's like, look, man, everyone can have their own opinions as long as you can articulate yourself. I may not even agree with it, but it's cool to have that. Like, I'm very I like to think of myself as being tolerant to different viewpoints, even if I don't agree with them. Just as long as you can just explain where you're coming from with it.
If you want to grow, you gotta be.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you just gotta bear with it.
Yeah.
You know?
No doubt.
So it just is what it is. You ain't gotta like everything. Just bear with it and move on with your day. It ain't your life,
Exactly.
But anyways, shout out to Orange Hat Reviews coming back through saying lurking. So he's keeping an eye out on the channel. He doing some stuff in the background. I don't really understand. But
stay busy, man. Staying busy.
All right, cool. Well, I want to ask you, because I didn't ask the last person that was on the show. I didn't ask Jack Move this, but I wanted to ask you. Maybe you already answered the question because you did say hustle and motivate put you on, but what made you actually agree to come on to the show, and show yourself?
So, all right. So, well, I mean, honestly, doing this is like a challenge for myself personally. Like, I'm super introverted. I'm super shy. When you like propose the idea of like, oh, would you mind like being interviewed? I'm like the first thing I thought is, oh my God, that's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, like, because it's like super out of the norm. Like the only time I've ever done an interview is for like to get a job, Right. So, and it's like, I was like, I need to do this because it's a challenge for me. Like it's not something that I'm used to. It purposely takes me out of my comfort zone. And everything that I've done in terms of like YouTube, Twitch, that has all taken me out of my comfort zone. I definitely like to challenge myself. So that's definitely a big reason why I wanted to do this. And I do like what you're doing. It's really cool.
I appreciate
definitely fun, interesting, unique in its own way. You don't really see like too many like things where we're deep diving into people in the community and getting a sense of what they're all about, really. So it was definitely a challenge, but I also think it's awesome.
You know what I've noticed is there are several other people that do interviews, but they do play safe interviews. And they do interviews with people that they know they're not going to, say anything that bothers them or say, or better yet, have a person on the show that, isn't beloved by their specific community that they're constantly on. So like I'm predominantly on Xbox. Most people know that fuck with me.
Gotcha.
But I have no problem talking to somebody that's on PlayStation hard. It's somebody that's very very eccentric with their beliefs, and sometimes they come across as fanboy and stuff like that. I don't have any problem with that because those people don't bother me. I don't let their different opinions cloud my judgment on something.
No,
it doesn't bother me
definitely at all. Look at someone like, for example, like Joe Rogan. The dude's like a social chameleon. Like he can converse with anybody. And that's what makes like an interviewer, someone that's asking questions, really great. The fact that you can mesh with all different sorts of people from different walks of life. Like it's challenging, but it's also like, it's something that is a great achievement if you're really good at it, for sure.
I'm trying to be, man, because I mean, not every episode I'm like, man, I fuck with that person all the way. Like, no, it's not always like that. But like, I respect their opinion, and like,
exactly.
It's your opinion, not mine. And this is your life, the way you came up, the way you do your things. Who am I to try to like nudge you in directions? You know what I'm saying? Or else that kind of discredits the whole show.
Yeah, you 100% right, for sure.
Exactly. So thank you for deciding to come on and be a guest. I really appreciate that, especially in the state that you're currently in.
Thank you for inviting me. It's really cool.
All right, well, let's move on. So what you got playing right now? What you working on game wise?
Well, lately, the past 4 days, I have been in my bed watching films because I've just been too tired to do anything. Last night, I managed to play a little bit of Fortnite. I'm working on my second playthrough of Days Gone, which I'm playing it on PC. Yes, I love that game because it just gets you in this mood. Like, it just feels like a mood where I could just sit there and just be in my zone of like post-apocalyptic world for hours. And I love it. And on PC, it's a great PC port. It's freaking awesome.
So I want to know why you love that game in particular, because for me, it ain't it. It ain't it. Because to me, it's just like an open world stuck up version of The Last of Us. Like the main character is kind of a douche.
I actually like him. I like douchebags. Like, and plus he, admittedly so, Deacon St. John's pretty attractive, so that definitely doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I love the dude's look. I love the whole motorcycle thing.
He got swag. That's for sure.
Yeah, like he definitely, like, he's a character that I like to play as. Like, I love when he mutters to himself. I think it's fucking hilarious. He does, like, he'll literally talk under his breath, and it's funny to me. Some people, they don't really like that, but I get in this zone where I'm just like, I gotta survive, and I'm just like not thinking while I'm playing the game. I'm like pretending to be this character and just having that whole open world where I'm just pretending to be him and surviving and in that zone. Like, for me, the game does a good job of getting me like just that escapism that I'm looking for.
Man, I just felt so poor in that game all the time when I was playing it. I was like, I'm sitting here looking for gas and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I just want to go to the damn mission, and I'm over here looking for gas. It's taking an extra half hour of my time. Like, this is wild. But I don't know. My boy Matt is telling me, yo, bro, just give it another chance. Give it another try. And I might have to, because I mean, I can turn it on to my PlayStation. I don't have it on PC. I'm sure if I had it on PC, I'd be a little bit more excited to hop on and play. But
I will say that you got a good PS5 update. It plays at 60. It looks nice. Really good. It's pretty solid on PS5. So I'd say when you're in the mood for like a slow burn, like I'd say that'd be the time. It is a slow burn. I ain't gonna lie to you. But like, I don't know, for some reason I just really get into it when I'm in the mood to play that type of game.
Fair enough. Okay, so we like I sent you a few questions before the show the other day, asking you like what was like your first console, what game made you a gamer, and what platform would you like suggest to somebody that's like getting into gaming for the first time. And the first one on the console that you had first, you said actually you had a handheld first, which was the Game Boy Color.
Yep.
What was that experience like? What was the games that you were playing on that?
The first game that I ever played was a Christmas gift. I got the Game Boy Color as a Christmas gift. And the first game that I ever played on Game Boy Color was Miss Pac-Man on a Game Boy Color. And wow. I like, yes, it's like looking back at it, because my parents loved Pac-Man as well. So it's like, obviously Santa had gotten it for me, but, looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, I can tell why my parents got me that one. And it's like, thinking back at it, it's like, that is like the perfect way to get like a young girl into playing video games. And I had to beg my parents for a Game Boy Color, because my parents were like very old school. They didn't really think like, and this is like the late 90s. I was very, very young, maybe like 6 or so, give or take. And they didn't really think that like game consoles and stuff in the household was a good thing. Like maybe going out and going to an arcade, stuff like that was, acceptable. But
so they're classic parents.
Yeah,
get your ass outside and go do something. Come back in when the street lights come on.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they didn't really. I don't think they at that time they just didn't know how to perceive gaming other than it's something that you do just occasionally when you go out to like an arcade or stuff like that. They weren't really into it. They didn't really get it because even though they did like stuff like Pac-Man, but in the house is like a different sort of thing. So I had to beg my parents for one. But my dad always would do this thing where he'd tell you, no, you're not going to get it. But then come like birthday or Christmas, you end up getting it. So like he'd always play that game with me. And I for a long time, I thought like, damn, I'm screwed. But like when I did get that Game Boy Color, I was ecstatic. And getting Miss Pac-Man, I think that was the perfect way to like start off gaming as a kid. So I was very happy to have gotten that. Another game I do remember getting, and honestly, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I got it, was Dragon Quest 3 on the Game Boy Color.
Oh, shit.
The thing was, it's like, I could barely read. It's like, I'm just like, what do I do? Like the game gave, and it's like, this is like maybe my second or third game, give or take, that I ever owned. So it's like this game that gives you like pretty much infinite freedom by video game standards at the time. I was lost. I would die, be like, oh shit, I died. And it's like starts you over or your last save point or whatever. I was completely lost, but I'm so happy that game is getting a remake. So it's like, as like a 6-year-old, I was a complete dope. I had no idea what I was doing, but now it's like I have fond memories because I was obsessed with playing the game because it looked like Dragon Ball, like the same art style.
Yeah, like the hair
that's
and
why
shit.
Yes, so I was like
super
into it as a kid.
That was so catchy as a kid. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen something that had like I immediately thought maybe I can do a Kamehameha up in this bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was like, the reason I wanted the game is like, this looks exactly like Dragon Ball. It's just a different sort of like, it's more so like different time period sort of deal. But it's like clearly this is the same art style. So that's why I was immediately like, I had to have it. Given I had no idea what I was doing, but I had fun with it for what it was. So I'm so glad that game is getting a remake. That's like the first RPG game I've ever played. So really cool. I remember having one of the WWE games on there.
Oh, you don't remember what it was though?
I couldn't tell you for sure, man. I was like 6 years old. So it's like, you end up forgetting more than you remember, but, what else did I have? I definitely had a little bit of a collection. I remember more with GBA. I definitely remember a lot more with GBA, but
so when you as you got a little bit older and got the Game Boy Advance, then you had more memories on that. But
yes,
the first home console that you told me that you had was the original PlayStation.
Yep.
Correct.
And that one I did get for Christmas as well, but like I think it was a year after that, because I definitely didn't get them both at the same time. That's for sure. But yeah, I got the PS1, and I don't know if you want to go into like what game got me into gaming, but that was basically the first game that I did get for PS1 got me into gaming. I don't know if you want to talk about that now.
Oh yeah, let's go on ahead and get into it, because that was part, that's a big part, and the game that you chose that I've seen is fantastic. It was one of my favorite games, and you can actually put in a cheat code. I'm gonna go ahead and spill the beans a little bit. You can put in a cheat code where you can do one button fatalities.
See, now I never knew that you could do that.
Oh,
as a kid, I didn't have the internet.
I was all over Cheat Code Central and Cheat Planet back in the day. I was coding it up.
I was like 6 and I didn't know shit about nothing. I was wet behind the ears. I didn't really have anyone I could talk to video games about. Like my cousins. So for me, the game that got me into gaming was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And I had, like, before I even got a PS1, I had went over to my cousin's house And normally my cousin, he was like a year older than me. He was always like, my cousin's a good guy, but he was kind of a little asshole sometimes. Like he wouldn't let me play on his PlayStation, so he wasn't there. He had went out to go play basketball down the street with some of his friends. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna play on his PlayStation. Screw him. So I turned on the PlayStation and it had Mortal Kombat Trilogy in it, and I immediately started playing it. And I noticed off the bat, and this is pretty much what wins me over with anything. I noticed off the bat that Liu Kang existed, and I noticed off the bat that this is clearly Bruce fucking Lee. So like, I was extremely obsessed with Bruce Lee as a little kid. Like, even to this, I'm not obsessed with him anymore, but like, I really am appreciative of Bruce Lee and just a lot of things revolving around him. But I saw, wait, they have a Bruce Lee like character in this game, must play. So I obsessively played as Liu Kang the whole day until my cousin got home, and clearly he's like, nah, get off my PlayStation. But I told my dad, I'm like, I need that, because it's like, bro, Bruce Lee in the game, like, period. So like, he was just like, nah, you're not getting that. Like, same thing every time. You're not getting it. But come Christmas, I ended up, the first games I did get was Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Knockout Kings.
Woo, Knockout Kings. Let's go.
Yes.
Man,
and
I used to put
so
the beat down on Butterbean.
Yeah. Those are like, I was obsessed with playing those games. But Mortal Kombat Trilogy, like, man, like, I had so many fond memories. I didn't know anything about cheat codes. I barely knew anything about video games. I was just playing video games. Like, I didn't have internet access back then. I was too young. Like I said, I didn't really have anyone to talk to when it came to video games, because like, I was a girl. When you talk to other girls, they didn't play video games back then. And then it's like guy friends, you can kind of talk to them about video games, but you're still a girl, and guys and girls didn't really mesh. You know, it was like, oh, girls got cooties or some shit. But like, so I didn't really have many people I could talk to video games about. My brother, at that point, I think my brother was like an infant, so it's a lot like I could talk to him about video games, since we're like 6 years apart. But yeah, playing Knockout Kings as well. Oh my god, that was. I just remember the cover. It had Muhammad Ali on it, looking down, I think, as he knocked out. What's his face?
Who was it, like Liston?
Liston, yes. That is like probably the most iconic image of Ali. Yeah. And I've always been into boxing. So like, I definitely know why my dad chose that. I always used to like watching boxing with my dad. Even now I'm anticipating boxing games that are coming out. Undisputed's coming out, which was like esports boxing club. I'm really excited about that. And apparently Fight Night's coming back, so I'm interested in that as well. But I've always been into boxing, and a lot of that is because of video games. Like, it's awesome. Like, I wish boxing was like still more popular than it is now. But yeah, PS1. I used to obsessively play Tony Hawk games, Cool Borders, Tekken.
Cool Borders, Big Air.
Yeah, Tekken 3 was fucking awesome. I had so much fun. Like I said, when you have a knockoff Bruce Lee character in your game, you instantly win me over. So
yeah, like Force Lee or no, Force Law. Force Law, yeah.
Yeah, so
Force
I
Law,
used to
and then
love
later
playing
on, or what was it? Later on, they had the other Law as well, because there was
Martial Law.
Yeah, Martial. Which one was the older one? I don't remember. Was it Martial?
Martial Law is the father, and Forrest is the son. I'm always partial to Forrest Law just because he was in Tekken 3, and that's my favorite Tekken. So that's always been my thing. But I also love playing as Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3 and Nina Williams. I used to love Nina Williams' attire in Tekken 3. Like, just the intro of that game, man. Like, it always brings back so many memories.
I used to fuck with Su Yung.
Ooh, I got you.
Su Yung was dope. And do you remember that side scroller thing that they used to have for Tekken Force?
It was like the beat 'em up thing?
Yeah, the beat 'em up. It was like Streets of Rage.
Yeah, they had they had that in Tekken 3 as well, I believe.
Was that Tekken 3?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember Brian was in that. He was like one of the bosses that or I think he was actually the main boss at the end or something like that.
Yeah, I need to go replay that. Oh my god, it's been so long.
That joint was nice, and I really wish they would add that back to Tekken. That would be a day one buy if they added that shit back. That was
it seems like Street Fighter 6 is gonna have a lot of cool shit in it. It's like might be taking a little bit from Tekken. I'm interested to see what they're doing with that, because it seems like Street Fighter is coming back pretty big with 6. But the first Street Fighter game I ever played on PS1 was Street Fighter Alpha 3. That was a lot of fun. I love the style of Street Fighter in general, just like the art, and I remember playing it in arcades. Oh man, I'm very nostalgic for a lot of this stuff. Let me see. What else can we throw in there I played? Yeah. I can't remember if I had Spider-Man on the N64 or if it was the PS1. Oh, it's been so long. That was a good game though.
I got that joint right here.
Yes. Yes, you know what? I had it on the N64. That game was freaking sick, bro. I had so much fun with that joint. Oh my god.
I remember in Spider-Man 2 there is a cheat code, Eel Nats, that you put in to get like invincibility and like everything. and Eel Nats backwards is Stan Lee. So I thought that was a really interesting way to put that in. But let me before we continue, let me run back to the chat real quick, because there's some interesting things up in there. Stankmaw says, Ham, you get her name right. Yes, I did get her name right. In fact, I didn't get caught slipping this time. I got it right this time because I got her on the show. I got to make sure I'm announcing that shit right. And then let's see. And then Hustle and Motivate says he believes that was Sonny Liston on the cover.
Yep, it was.
Dre Watson said, that OG PS1 was crazy during that time. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I remember the first time I seen Ridge Racer, my jaw hit the floor when I seen that game. I seen it on like one of them classic 2 big screen TVs. Man, I was ready to go. That shit was fire. But let's see. What's up, Big Mike? Appreciate you for stopping through. He says, we in here. What up? Classic Cage. And then Arcade 4247 says, yep. And also Tekken 6. I believe he's talking about like that side scrolling thing.
Yeah.
And whatnot. I believe that's what he's talking about. Confirm that if you can, Arcade, because I'm not sure, because I pretty much stopped playing Tekken after Tag. Tekken Tag was like my favorite. And then I just was like, I don't know. So let me know if they have that, because I might have to go cop that, because I love that side scrolling shit. But let's see. Let's go on ahead and keep it moving. So yeah, PlayStation 1 was absolutely fire. But what was next for you? Console-wise?
I did end up getting an N64. This is like late in the generation, but I did get one. The first game that I got was Smash Bros, the OG Smash Bros. And everyone that knows me knows I have this infatuation with Captain Falcon. And it's not because I've played his games. I haven't played his games, but it's from Smash Bros. He's my main. He's always been my main since the original Smash Bros. And I'll always speak fondly of his butt. So all my friends know that I'm always like, yes, that booty though. But yeah, like I remember playing OG Smash Bros. And I was addicted to that game.
Oh yeah.
That was like, oh my god, it had all the like when I was really at that age, I was obsessed with Pokemon. Like I had the Pokemon sneakers with the lights on them when you would step on them. Like I was such a dork. I had I remember, I think it was like the same Christmas that I got a PS1, where I was like my parents got me this whole set of like Pokemon. So I had like a Pikachu pillow with the sheets and the blanket and like the school books and pencils and everything. Like anything Pokemon,
You're
I
swagged
was.
out.
Yes. Oh, and another game I was super obsessed with was on Game Boy Color was Pokemon Yellow. That was my joint. Anything Pikachu, I just had to have it. Like that was a game I was super addicted to. So that was definitely more digestible RPG than Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. Especially since it's like you're really passionate for it as well. So that'll help drive you through the game 100%. But as for 64, did you end up, because I wasn't really big into Pokemon, but one Pokemon game I really got into for I don't know why, but it was Pokemon Snap.
Oh, I didn't have that one. I had Pokemon Stadium though.
Okay.
Like that game, because I had played Pokemon Yellow, and then when I played Pokemon Stadium for the first time, I was like, oh my god, like this is like me. I can pretend to like fight my battles with Pokemon Stadium since it's like 3D, and they would do like their little moves and whatever. It was really cool. I loved all the mini games that the game had. I was definitely really into that game. It was a lot of fun. And what was the basketball game where Kobe was on the cover? I forget the name of it.
What was it? Courtside.
Yes, I had that game too. I was big on Kobe Bryant when I was a kid. He got me into basketball when I was a kid. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I remember like I would when I was little, I had my own room. This is like before my brother was even born, so I didn't have to share with anyone. But I had my little kid's recliner, and I would be like watching the Lakers play on my little RCA TV. And I remember getting that game just because Kobe was on the cover. Kobe was my guy. And, it sucks that he passed away so suddenly, man, tragically. And I definitely felt some type of way when that happened, because he was the guy that got me into basketball. And it's just something about him, man, that was like electric, just watching him play. And it was cool because I was
electric. He was like he was like the last Jordan-esque type of player, where it was just like, I'm gonna do anything to win, and I'm gonna throw it in your face while I do it. But
he was sick.
Yeah, RIP to him. And speaking of RIP, shout out to Optimus Code. Unfortunately, he passed away. I believe it was either earlier today or yesterday. Really good brother of the community. He talked his stuff, but he kept it respectful, and he was willing to listen to everybody's opinions, whether he agreed with it or not. Did you happen to have any interactions with him?
Never knew the guy, man, but it sucks to see anyone go before their time. It's really sad. The thing is, like, we don't think about this kind of stuff. Like, anybody that we talk to on Twitter or the YouTube community, gaming community in general, like, here today, gone tomorrow. You never know. Like, it's like, I guess it's always like, it makes you think, man, like, we just need to, be chill, because you just never know what someone's going through when we be going at each other on Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really sad to see someone go. I think that it's good that people at least know, because sometimes you never know. Like, sometimes you'd be talking to someone, and then like years later, someone may have passed, and you just like, man, I don't know what happened to that guy. So, at least like there's some closure with knowing that he has passed. So definitely rest in peace to Optimus Code. It's really, really sad to see him go. Definitely,
he was actually one of the first spaces that I've ever joined and hit the talk button. on it. And I was blown away when he allowed me into his space to talk. And of course, I was a little nervous because I'm an Xbox kind of dude, right? And I hit that talk button, and you look to see who's all in the space and whatnot, and it's just all PlayStation fanboys for the most part. Not in a derogatory sense saying fanboys, but like just like PlayStation fans. Better way to put it.
Yeah.
In there. He actually welcomed me into that space. I'm not going to say with open arms, but he was like willing to speak with me and like willing to listen to my opinions. And we went back and forth on a few different things, but I didn't feel like a piece of shit after I left the space. I was actually happy with what I got to say. Even though he didn't agree with me, I still felt like he at least listened and gave a damn enough to at least give me the spotlight for the moment to say what I had to say. Although I rock with the other console, So I thought that was really cool. And I've seen him on other shows with like Dealer and, all different types of people within the community. And he was, because I came into the like, YouTube and like Twitter space thinking like, these dudes don't talk to each other. They don't like each other. They're like beefing. But like the reality is like he just had his preference and he rocked hard with it. And but he was more than willing to speak with anybody about it. And he was actually a really big Nintendo dude too as well. He used to speak on that every once in a while. But anyways, let's keep the spirits up. Let's keep it moving. RIP to him, man. Rest easy, brother. But I want to know, moving forward, like what was after the N64?
I'd say PS2.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. If I'm not mistaken. Oh wait.
Was it the Dreamcast, maybe?
I had a Dreamcast for a month, bro.
Damn,
for 1 month.
The disrespect.
No. It's actually sad because I was happy to have gotten one. It only lasted in my household for 1 month, sir.
Would it break?
Yes. So I managed to get one game for the Dreamcast, which was Sonic Adventure 2.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
I was loving that game. Like, it was freaking awesome. As I was playing it, my Dreamcast was on my night table, and my little brother ran through my controller wire and knocked the Dreamcast off the night table, and it was curtains for the Dreamcast after that. So I had it for 1 month, and it took an ugly ass L, and I was super sad. I was so sad. Oh my God. It's like thinking back at it, it's like one of those things. Like, my brother did a few things in my life that made me rage uncontrollably, and that was one of those moments.
Oh, you sound scarred.
Yes, it definitely hurt me. Another one was what he did to my Xbox, my OG Xbox. That's a fun one too. Yes.
There ain't no way he knocked that down.
No, he did one even better. You could say that the Dreamcast was by accident. What he did to my Xbox was just plain fucking stupid. He literally washed the disc in the sink and placed the Xbox disc in the disc tray and put it into the system still wet. Yes, this is my very small and stupid brother that didn't really know any better. It's like, bro, technology and water, they don't mix there. It's not like today where your phone is waterproof and you can put it in some water. No, like things back then, like even with the consoles now, you can't put them in water otherwise they're done.
Yeah. We're fighting if something like that happens.
Yeah.
That shit's wild.
Yeah,
but that's insane.
Yeah. I can't remember. It's so hard to like place it. I definitely, like, for me, I've always liked to get everything because I guess I was a little bit spoiled. But at the same time, it's just like I didn't really have like a console allegiance. Like, I always preferred PlayStation at that time, just because most Dragon Ball games at the time were just exclusive to PS2. So like that's where I primarily game at, but I had a GameCube, I had the Xbox, like I wouldn't shy away from a console just because of like an allegiance to a company. I never understood that concept as like a little kid. So like that, it's just like if you have games on this console that I want to play, then I want to be there for it. And I've always pretty much had that like mentality. Like I'll have my preference, but if there's games on your console, then I want to be there for it. Like it doesn't matter what company it is. I want to play games. And so that's always been like my mentality. But PS2 was a big deal for me. Like I said, had all my Dragon Ball games on there. I was obsessed with the Budokai series, the Budokai Tenkaichi series. I used to play sports games. ESPN?
Let's settle it. What were the sports games?
Oh yeah. So my favorite football game was 2K5, ESPN 2K5. That's an easy dub. To be honest, I love the Madden games too. Don't get me wrong. Like I would play Madden, but 2K5, man, I got that for like $20, and it was amazing. It was so freaking good. I had so much. Like that game did stuff that I don't even know if Madden these days does it. It's crazy to think. But really
like that toe tap corner end zone catch and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if Madden even has something like that yet. They had the referees.
You watch the player get injured on the field. You can actually go back to the replay and notice them going down to the ground, grabbing their leg. Like, yo, that was crazy for that time, man. Like those little details. I really enjoyed that. And the Tony Hawk games, Tony Hawk's Underground was freaking amazing. Like what I loved about those games is that I could create future Trunks and actually skateboard as future Trunks. It was in the first game in Underground 1, I literally had long-haired future Trunks, and then Underground 2, I had short-haired future Trunks, and they clearly put that in there. Someone was a fan of Dragon Ball. Someone was a huge Future Trunks fan, because they had everything in there that I needed to make that character. So it was awesome playing Tony Hawk game and actually being able to play as my favorite Dragon Ball Z character as a kid.
That's what's up.
And yeah, X-Men Legends was great. I actually went back and played that recently. It's close to a year now, and that game still holds up. The original X-Men Legends. X-Men Legends 2 is also awesome. I love those games. A game on PS2 that I really, really loved that I don't know if many people know about, but it's a Rise to Honor with Jet Li. I love that game.
Yeah, that game was fire.
That game was
all
sick.
about that joint.
Yeah, it was really fucking awesome. Like, it was cool to play as Jet Li. Like, anything martial arts, I was, like, super into.
Me too.
I like the whole way you'd use the sticks to do all his moves and stuff. And I love the mix between the martial arts and the run and gun action. It played like a movie, and I didn't really mind that, at the time. I thought that was cool. I had, True Crime Streets of LA was my joint, too. I was super into that.
Because that brought martial arts into...
Yes.
That brought martial arts into Grand Theft Auto. That's what it felt like.
Exactly. That's why I was super into it. It was different. It was a different take. Like you can clearly tell it was inspired by GTA, but it clearly had its own spin on things, which made me interested in playing it for sure. And another one that's like GTA Scarface, The World Is Yours. I love Scarface as a kid. Oh my god!
Yeah, you shoot somebody and it says like plus balls. Like you get balls for shooting for shooting folks and whatnot. But on that True Crime, I remember specifically, like not only did you have like the martial arts, but you could like train and get different moves.
Yeah.
But like in like shooting combat, you were able to do like bullet time, which was just like Max Payne. as well. So I thought that was dope. And then on top of it, you had bullet time while driving too, which was even more insane. But yeah, and then Hustle and Motivate says the Warriors up in the chat. Which
yes,
that game was fire.
Sick, bro.
That game was lit.
You know, back when like those like games based off films were actually pretty fucking awesome. A lot of them, like you can actually genuinely have fun. One game, man, I forgot to mention this. The Lion King game on the PS1, I was super into because I was obsessed with Lion King as a kid. They had this dope ass Lion King game on the PS1. It was a really fun play for me as a kid. I was super into that. Oh my god, Onimusha on the PS2. Oh my god, I didn't play Resident Evil, but I played Onimusha because I loved the whole samurai stuff. Like all that stuff, I was super into. And playing Onimusha for the first time, I was scared but super intrigued. I really loved Samanosuke as a protagonist. I loved like the whole like demon samurais, like. Oh, that shit was just so cool. I remember picking that up from KB Toys as a kid. I was so excited. I was like, samurai stuff. I have to go home and play that.
So hold up real quick.
Yep.
I'm gonna run off to the chat for a quick second, but one thing that I gotta recognize is what Hustle just said. He said, Cassie put me onto the Warriors. Bruh, you wasn't playing the Warriors back in the day?
Yo, to be fair though, there's so many great PS2 games. It's like there's some that I'm trying to collect some PS2 games now that I've never played to give them a try. You know, because there's just too many. There's too many good ones.
There was a lot, but man, I mean, that movie was fantastic.
Movie's
and then the game was it felt like you were literally in the movie because that radio woman would hop on. Hey, all you boppers out there. And I was like, oh shit, here we go.
They nailed it, bro. They really did. It was a lot of fun. And, oh my god. My obsession on PS2, what kept me there over everything else was no doubt the Dragon Ball Z games. Budokai 1, I loved it. I loved it because it told the story so well in a condensed way. I loved the cutscenes at the time. I'm like, oh my god, these graphics are freaking awesome. I'm playing through the game. The gameplay, it doesn't really hold up, but they really like refined the gameplay in that second game. But then they really took it to the next level in Budokai 3. Like that was so much fun. And to be fair, like I don't really consider them real fighting games. They're like they're fighting games for dummies. I've never been good at fighting games. It's like mostly just hang out with some of my friends and we mash buttons and we have fun and
why
whatever.
Do you think I got the one button fatalities? Because I suck. I suck. So I'm sitting here like hitting square brutality, and he's just like going nuts, and I'm just like I like hit the button and just sit there and watch. That shit was lit. But let me continue with this chat real quick.
Go for it.
So like Hustle and Motivate was saying earlier that 2K5 was Fire Dre Watson said the same thing as well, and then he also Hustle also mentioned that first person mode in 2K5, which was incredible.
Yeah, it was so weird. I had a hard time getting used to that. I tried it, but I shied away from it pretty quick. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. Like it's so different. It was cool. It'd be interesting if they had like a VR version of that. Maybe for PSVR 2.
That would be a little much. I don't know if my head could handle that, but I'd definitely try it because hey, why not, right?
It'd be something new for Madden to try, you know, in general, because it's like Madden just feels super stagnant. That's why I don't really play Madden games very much anymore. So
facts, absolutely. And then Arcade says 2K5 with a first-person view mode playing against celebrities. I remember that. You'd go answer that phone call or whatnot. You can play versus celebrities. You had the trophy. You had your trophy rooms and stuff like that. Yeah. And then he said and the godlike ESPN presentation was fire. Yeah. So you had like the halftime shows. You had the weekly summary where he would talk about each game of the week and whatnot. And it was crazy because Chris Berman, like it was hitting it on the spot, man. Like you'd have like a long play and he'd do that the 40, the 30, the 20, rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling. Like, I was like, oh shit, this is just like ESPN. Like, that shit was dope.
It was as close as you can reasonably get it at the time. It was very sick. It was a great simulation to get you into it, because I was really into football. I used to be like my dad's like little doppelganger, I guess. Like, I used to definitely be into everything my dad was into. So we'd watch the Jets every freaking Sunday, and I used to love playing the games, and yeah, that was definitely me.
Absolutely. And then Arcade also says he said he wants like a remake of Rise to Honor, or he said no, he didn't say or, he said and Legends of Dragoon. So cool. Those could totally come out today and hit and get some numbers. I'd
like to see Jet Li make a comeback. I think that he's had some health issues, if I'm not mistaken, but Jet Li, man, back when we were young, he was killing the game. It was really cool that he actually did do a game with PlayStation, and I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was really cool to be able to play as Jet Li, and for what it was worth, it was cool. I loved the whole action behind that game.
Did you ever play that sorry ass Bruce Lee game on the original Xbox?
So
that shit was disrespectful.
I played it at I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, so I wanted the game, but then I played it at my cousin's house, and I said, something is wrong here, and I didn't end up getting it, so.
The game was ass. It was not good. It was not good in my opinion. All right. But yeah, let's keep it moving. We're already about an hour and 5 minutes in, so let's hit some of these next consoles. Not too quick, but in some sort of a quicker fashion.
Well, so, I think the most notable for me is GBA. That's arguably my favorite. It's always between the PS2 and the Game Boy Advance. And the Game Boy Advance for me was fucking awesome. The first game I ever owned on it was Sonic Advance. I was addicted to that game. I remember getting that for my birthday, and that was like the blue OG Game Boy Advance, and I ended up getting the SP as well, and having that backlight was fucking awesome. It was really a big deal at the time, and the whole clamshell that you could fit into your pocket. Like, GBA was just an amazing handheld, man. It hit on all fronts. Pokemon Sapphire, I was obsessed with. Pokemon Red. I don't know if you remember the Yu Yu Hakusho game they had on GBA, but it went through the story. It was an ugly game, admittedly, but I just remember, man, I can go through the Yu Yu Hakusho story. I really love that. Golden Sun, I also really loved. That was a lot of fun. Nah?
No, I haven't heard of the Golden Sun one.
Ooh, Golden Sun's cool. It's definitely awesome. I would love to revisit that when I do get a chance. Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku 2 is still like one of my all-time favorite games. It is such an awesome RPG. I was obsessed. I played through that game so many times. And when I really love a game, like for me, I really love Pokemon Sapphire. I remember deleting my save file once I beat the game and playing through it all over again. Like, because on Pokemon, you can only have one save. So I was like, fuck it. I just threw the whole thing away and restarted it over like twice. Because I didn't, that's how I, yeah. When I really do like a game, I will replay it. I'm that type of person. But I definitely have to give it a little break. Then I'll go back to it and play through it all over again. The Yu-Gi-Oh games on GBA, I was super obsessed with. I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid. Not so anymore, unfortunately. Just kind of became a little bit extra. I remember getting like one of the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh games, and it just felt like it took 10 years just to have one turn, so I didn't really like it very much. But on GBA, you can do like, in an hour, you can have like 5 different games. That was what was really cool about it. And Boost Fury as well, Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury was also another really fun one. GBA, man, had a lot of great games. That's definitely, between that and the PS2, those are my 2 favorite like gaming platforms of all time, honestly. And I guess we can just talk about 360. That's when I got into online gaming. I kind of ditched PlayStation for 360. Like it's kind of crazy. Yeah, because I was like I said, like I would get, like I said, PlayStation 2 was my main like console, because even though I did also have a GameCube, I had fun with that. I played stuff like Pikmin and a lot of the games that the GameCube had to offer as well.
Time out. But did you play Eternal Darkness?
I didn't.
Oh,
I did not.
Damn it.
My friend swears by that game.
That game was fire.
Swears by it. You know, I would have been scared shit as a little kid playing a game.
It was
the
scary.
things that he talks about. Yeah, but that's what I did miss out on. This thing that sucks about GameCube, it's like you can get the console for like pretty cheap, but getting any of the games is like it's not worth the. It's not just not worth it, sadly. So it's like got to don the eye patch at this point, and I do plan on doing that at some point to visit some of those games. But I literally ditched PS3 for 360, and that's crazy because PS2 was my main console, and honestly, PlayStation they dropped the ball early PS3. It wasn't until after the PS4 came out that I did revisit PS3 and catch up on a lot of those games that I did miss out on. But 360, like I loved Call of Duty games. On PS2, Call of Duty Finest Hour was my first Call of Duty game, and what really, really had me was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I plugged in my online to play that game online. That was the first game I played. And I remember being like 14 years old, cursing grown ass men out in lobbies and fighting with them all day. Like I did not give a shit. Like I developed a lot of my social strength from Call of Duty Modern Warfare lobbies, no doubt. Like, oh yeah, I'm capable of dealing with a lot of shit because of those altercations that I would have. And you know what?
You can see your skin getting thicker.
Yes, exactly. And so I definitely do not regret any of that. Like that shit definitely made my skin thick when it comes to shit, the world of shit talk, and it prepared me for a lot. So big shout out to the motherfuckers in lobbies that would fight with me over the most dumbest stuff possible. That was so much fun. But yeah, playing online for the first time, man, it was like you can meet all these random people from all walks of life, and it was something that like my parents knew that I was obsessed with it. And like the one thing about me, so I think a big reason why the Game Boy Advance was like honestly one of my favorite like platforms was because I was only allowed to play video games on the weekends, but my parents would let me hold on to my handheld. So like every weekend I could play the PS1, the PS2, the Xbox 360, but weekdays school was priority. But I would be sneaking in playing on the GBA whenever I could. So that I think that's why I have a lot of fond memories of Game Boy Advance. But my parents were very strict with that. But yeah, when the weekends came, I was on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, fighting with people and killing it online. It was awesome because it's like you can actually test like your strengths with playing games, like compete. And so it was a different experience. And 360, their social features stole me from PS3, and yeah,
this is fantastic.
Xbox had it. Yeah, Xbox had it down pat, man. PlayStation was not prepared, and they definitely suffered the consequences. You know, it's anybody that you know, anybody can fairly admit that 360 Xbox definitely caught PlayStation with their pants down at that point.
Oh, they sure did. They if they didn't want to take them serious before, they were definitely taking them serious.
Oh yeah,
when the 360 launched. And in my opinion, if it wasn't for like the red ring of death, they would have ran away with that entire generation. But I'm sure that red ring was scaring that daylights out of people. I mean, I already know. I've had people on the show that said they had like 5, 6, 7.
That 4. I went through 4 360s, bro, and the controllers. Oh my god, and batteries. Jesus, The amount of batteries we went through. Just thinking about it, man, it's crazy. It's crazy what you do back then for gaming, bro. It's like beg. I remember begging my dad, "Can you please buy me batteries?"
I had to buy them rechargeable joints.
Yeah, I did end up getting one of those towards the end of the generation. One of those ones that you could just plug into the system. Like, get wired up if you have to. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the 360 what was the joint for you for that generation, but did you eventually get yourself a PS3?
So my brother early in the generation, he asked for a PS3. So we did have a PS3 in the house. And funny enough, like the only thing I would use it for is to really watch like anime, like Blu-rays on it, since it was a Blu-ray player. And I would play PS2 games on it. Like it was a great PS2 player. I was super into it. And then
so y'all had that old school fat one.
Yes. It did come in handy. And the sad thing is we had a mini flood in our basement when I used to live in New York. And I had that PS3 on the floor, so it got ruined.
Ooh.
And so, like, it sucks, man. I really wish we did still have that PS3. I eventually had to go buy a super slim PS3 because, like, I don't know if you remember.
Top?
Yes, I have the sliding top.
No, but hey, it works.
It gets the job done, bro.
Yeah,
it gets the job. But for me, like, so I don't know if you remember when PS4 first launched, it was dry as fuck. It was so dry that I was looking at PS3 and I'm just like, there's some games that I missed out on. They at that point, Telltale games weren't coming to the next gen consoles. And I really wanted to play The Last of Us because I missed out on that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up buying a PS3 after I had bought a PS4, like a few months afterwards. And it was a good decision. I did get my money's worth. I ended up playing The Last of Us, some of The Wolf Among Us that had come out only on PS3, 360 at the time. And what was those Quantic Dream games, Heavy Rain. I really liked Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was sick. There's definitely quite a few games. The Godfather 1 and 2. Those were really cool. Those were really fun games. I actually need to get a copy of The Godfather because I have a hard time finding that game. But that was a lot of fun. I was such an asshole in The Godfather. I would literally go into people's stores and just extort the shit out of them. Literally torture them into giving me what I want. Like you could be such a jerk in those games, but it was so much fun. And if you're a fan of like the films, those games were absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like games like that, like as we were talking about earlier, Scarface. They had The Sopranos as well. With the cone titties. I remember those in the game because they owned a strip club. So, I mean, that's where you did all your business and stuff at. And I just thought that was wild for the time.
Bro, my parents bought me that game and they didn't understand that, like, they didn't understand a rating system back then. So, like, I would have to secretly play that game just so they wouldn't know what I was playing.
No, those are facts right there. Those are absolute facts. But yeah, so that generation was lit on both ends eventually. The PlayStation ended up coming through. They had a ton of games definitely during the latter half of the console cycle. And it actually ended up catching up to Xbox and surpassing it for consoles sold and whatnot. But moving on to the next generation. So PS4, Xbox One, where you at?
Oh, I was so crazy enough. I was kind of like, at that point, I was like, I think it was like, I can't even remember how old I was, but I thought for a little bit at that point, I was kind of like getting out of playing video games. Like I was kind of like, I had just got into college. I was more so into just going out and hanging out with my friends. And I was like, I'm not really playing that many games anymore. Like, this was like at the end of 360. I just didn't really play 360 that much anymore. But what I ended up buying a Vita because I was like, I'm out a lot. Maybe I'll play a couple games on the PlayStation Vita and just be with that. But like Vita actually like reinvigorated my love of gaming because they had some really sick games like Gravity Rush and the Uncharted Golden Abyss. Like there was definitely Persona 4 that was really sick. Like I really was like, damn, I'm not like tired of gaming. I was just burnt out on the games that I was playing. And then when I got this Vita with these like cool freaking games, I was like, nah, I need a PS4. Like I'm definitely getting a PS4. And I had not pre-ordered a PS4. But I literally the day the PS4 was supposed to launch, so technically it was supposed to be that launch night, I asked my uncle after college, I was like, can you drop me off at GameStop? And this is like at 12:30. So I got there around like 1 in the afternoon. I'm like, how long do you think I would have to wait in order to pre-order the PS4? And they're like, honestly, I couldn't give you a time. And I'm like, if I just wait here for like whatever amount of time when you guys get it in, and you can confirm that, that there is some that are still able to be pre-ordered that I can get a chance to pre-order. They're like, yeah, if you're willing to wait. So I literally ended up waiting in front of GameStop in November when it was pretty cold. I would occasionally go inside to warm up, then go back out because I couldn't just sit in their establishment. So I literally sat in front of their store for 6 hours.
Oh my God, dedicated.
Yes, because I was just like, I have to get the PS4 because I was like dead. I was literally playing the Vita while sitting on the ground, waiting for them to come out and tell me. And then when they finally told me, they're like, yeah, we got inventory in. We still have we have PS4s that are pre-orderable. So I managed to secure a pre-order that day. So and what was sick about that was since I secured the pre-order that day, I was in the first group to walk in at midnight and get the PS4 and go. So I was so like, it was awesome because I literally at like 6:30 at night, I made the pre-order. I went home, waited till midnight, and all I had to do was go there. We waited. All I had to do, I was in the first group, so I just showed them my receipt, walked in, they handed me the PS4, walked out immediately. So I was like, I didn't have to wait on anyone. I was the first one, so it was really sick.
What was the game?
I remember, so the first games I had was Lego Marvel Superheroes and Battlefield 4. Those were my go-tos. Yes,
big FPS.
Yeah, I liked Battlefield 3. I had a lot of fun playing Battlefield 3. I was really into like military shooters, more so like PS2, PS 360. Those I was still into them at that point. Now, not so much anymore. But I really did enjoy Battlefield 4. It was broken at launch, no doubt. But I remember being able to play team deathmatch, and for the most part, it not like messing up like it was when you would play like those bigger those bigger team battles. I forget what they called, like Conquest or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I had fun playing just standard team deathmatch, and that was pretty cool. I ended up picking up Killzone Shadowfall shortly after. So a lot of people hate that game, but I ended up loving it because it's like, it happened to be like, I just met some people on there, ended up being like my super long time friends that I've known now for like 10 years. And we talk almost like every day. And it's literally because of Killzone Shadowfall that I met these awesome group of dudes. And we've been talking all these years later. So I definitely have to give Killzone Shadowfall that. It is honestly one of my favorite PS4 games because I met some really long time awesome people from that game.
There's a rare comment right there.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of people hate it, but honestly, I had fun with it. I thought it was for me a good first-person shooter. As long as it gets fundamentals right, I'm cool with it. And for me, it got the fundamentals right, so I was okay with it. The story was meh. I totally get the story. At the time, it was one of the most beautiful games I had ever seen, no doubt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I remember they showcased that game off when they were talking about dropping the PS4 and whatnot. It was that game, and I think Knack.
Yeah.
They
I never got Knack.
Yeah, no, not interested in
not
that.
My thing.
No, not at all. But now that wait, before we move, did the Xbox One get any love from you?
I ended up buying an Xbox One. That was just because so I really loved the Tomb Raider reboot, like that first game. I had it on 360. I thought it was fucking awesome. So at first I was pissed when they said that the sequel was going to be exclusive to Xbox One, because I hadn't gotten an Xbox One at that point. I wasn't into the whole like camera thing and just like where Xbox was headed with the Xbox One. So putting forth the TV stuff. So I was like, I really don't feel like I need that console. But when they said Rise of the Tomb Raider is Xbox One exclusive, I was like, fuck. Like I ended up once they dropped that whole camera thing, I indulged. Honestly, I traded in my 360 to get one because I had to play that game. Yeah. And I kind of do regret it. Anytime I do, I was in college. You don't have much money in college. So I ended up selling a few things, that I do regret. That maybe at some point I'll end up recollecting, stuff like that. But I had to sell the 360 to get one. So it is what it is. But I ended up getting what I wanted. It sucks because it ended up just coming to PlayStation 4 anyway after a couple of years or something. But like for me, if I want to play a game and it's on this system, they tell me, it's exclusive to that system. It is what it is, But I ended up getting pretty much every console, every generation. I got the Switch as well. I really like the Switch too. It's a cool handheld. I always love handhelds. Nintendo, for the most part, knows what they're doing when it comes to handhelds. I'm not a big fan of DS or even the 3DS, but Switch is awesome for what it is.
Gotcha. All right, so now we're moving on to this current generation. What you got?
I've been going all very, very firmly in on PC at this point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, PC is just that thing, man, where it's like I have the final say, and I like that. I like to do things my way, and it's kind of shitty because I was really excited about PS5, and so far things just haven't been going the way I was hoping they would go. I feel like PlayStation, Sony's kind of just gotten less consumer friendly since the PS4 generation.
Don't PS4 say that, you meanie.
Hey man, it is what it is, Like I have issues with every platform. Like Nintendo's not perfect, Xbox is not perfect, PlayStation is not perfect. I thought that PS4 generation was pretty fucking awesome. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty decent for what it was. But PS5, man, I haven't been into it, bro. Like, you're telling me that your games are just gonna come to PC in a couple of years anyway? It's like, okay, I might as well just go all in on PC. And I was so excited for PS5. I pre-ordered 2 of them just to make sure that my pre-order would not get canceled on me. And I ended up getting the 2 of them. Yes, that was how serious I was. Me and my friends, we were all like on all these websites, trading websites with each other to get these pre-orders and shit. Like I had to secure 2 because that's how hyped I was for the PS5. Like, and to be fair, the PS5 I think is a pretty decent piece of hardware. Like I do like the DualSense. I think it's very comfortable controller. I think that even though I don't think that the PS5 look is ugly by any means. It is what it is. I don't really care about the look of the system.
It's fucking massive.
It's definitely, it's big bitch. No doubt it's big bitch. It's kind of weird, but I'm indifferent to what it looks like. But like for the price point, it plays games pretty damn well. I said this, and a lot of people at the time, back before the PS3 launched, I said if PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, they can't play 60 consistently, I'm out. Period. And a lot of people at the time said that's a high expectation to hold on consoles. You have to remember, like, oh, these are supposed to be budgeted. And it's like, if you don't have fucking standards, then you are going to just get walked all over. And that was my standard. Like 60 FPS had to become the standard. And with the power that they were showing, it was like, okay, 60 FPS seems to be coming at least an option all the time or the norm. And so I was like, okay, that was my base standard. And for the most part, they met that. So I was cool with it. I'm like, okay, we doing PS5, like all in, like, and I bought 2 of them. And now they just kind of collect dust for the most part.
Oh, damn. Hey, but you fucking with that DualSense on the PC though?
A little bit. I try to force myself to use the keyboard and mouse. I'm still trying to make that adjustment to keyboard and mouse. So for the most part, I force myself to use the keyboard and mouse. But DualSense works cool on PC. It's definitely a very viable option.
Yeah, and depending on the game, yeah, you do get the features of the DualSense, which is pretty dope. It is pretty nice to see. And I mean, it's pretty insane seeing all these games start to come onto PC from PlayStation, because originally back in the PlayStation 2 era, the whole point of the PlayStation 2 was to get you away from like Microsoft and the computer and everything. They're like, we need you. This is your PC for the TV, right?
Yep.
And now things have changed, and they're making games for said thing that they were battling back in the day. So it's really interesting how that all happened. But
I tell people that PC is, whether you like it or not, PC is the end all be all. Whether you can accept it or not is a personal thing, but it is the end all be all. I'm eating all the games. We got the Xbox games. We're getting the PlayStation games, and they you can find the Switch games if you look hard enough, just saying.
Hey, ain't no lie. As a matter of fact, so listening to everything that you just got done talking about for, the generations and all that stuff, is that you were pretty hardcore into handhelds and whatnot. Like you love your handhelds. And when I asked you, one of the questions I asked you before getting on the show is, what console would you suggest to somebody that's like new into gaming or not really 100% with it and everything? And you said the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind, because I was anticipating like Switch, Xbox, or PlayStation, or even PC, but you said the Steam Deck. And now, after listening to you for the last hour and a half, it makes sense. Because because it seems like each generation you found a handheld.
Oh yeah. Well, to be honest with you, even when I didn't find a handheld, I would just stick with the one that I had. Very, very, like when I got a DS, I didn't like the DS, so I would just play Game Boy Advance games pretty much that entire generation. Like I didn't mind playing 2D. It was like SNES on steroids with GBA. But the main reason I did say the Steam Deck is because you can make it whatever you want. It's like, it's an introduction to PC if you want it to be. I think it's perfect for someone that's sort of new to the gaming space, or is interested in PC in general, but doesn't want to fully indulge or take on that responsibility of having their own rig.
They got a dock now too, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you want to put the Steam Deck on the TV, you could put it on the TV. You know, like if you start collecting Steam games, you know, if you're just like, man, this gaming thing is awesome. I like this Steam Deck. I want to indulge in going all in on PC. It's like you already got those games on your Steam Deck, and you could just start playing them on PC if you ever want to get a PC. It's portable. It's dockable. Yeah, it's very nice. I don't have one, but I want one. I definitely want one. When I do get the chance, I'm definitely going to indulge. But I think that it's great for someone that needs like a good introduction and they don't know where their niche is. It's like, do you like handheld gaming? Do you like console gaming? Do you like PC gaming? Like it could be whatever you want it to be. And if you want to get into playing older games, you can put emulators on there. You can do whatever you want. It's like it could be, the Steam Deck could be as basic as you want it to be or as intricate as you want it to be. That's why I think it's such a great device, man. I think it's for anybody.
Yeah, I think Steam was disrespectful when they had that little post on Twitter not that long ago with Yuzu on there. I was like, oh, yeah. I see what y'all doing. Y'all just y'all slipping a little what do they call those, like damn, I can't even think of it, like a little message to you, like, hey, guess what you could do on here if you want to. You could do it, but I love. Oh, go ahead.
No, what I love about Steam in general is that it's as open of a platform as it gets with minor curation. Like if you want adult only games, there's that free. Like they don't really put that much of like they don't really hold back, you know? Like it's kind of like a freer platform than like PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store. Like, well, that's what I do love about PC in general. It's like I have all the storefronts at my disposal. That's what's awesome. It makes for better competition. Like I don't like the price on Steam, I can go to CD Keys, I can go to Green Man Gaming. Like there's different. I have different options. Yeah, like there's so many different options, and that's what, to me, even though I love collecting my physical games, like if I really value a game, I will get a physical copy of it. But I do see the value in PC gaming as well. So, will I be a PC only gamer in the future? That depends. Does console want to get rid of physical? If PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox go down that route, then I say that you're just a bootleg PC and fuck you, I'm out. That's pretty much where my stance is. Yeah, that's the only thing that, to me, at this point, that's the only thing that makes the console truly unique is the physical media.
Wow. So like something like a Series S or a PlayStation Digital isn't like up your alley at all.
Worthless. Absolutely worthless. It's just to me it's a PC that has all these stupid stipulations on it that I have no control over. What's the point?
Oh, that's a fair assessment. But now we must move into the content creation part, because I'm curious when you actually got started into content creating and why.
Well, so I mean, like I've always been involved in the gaming community for a long time, but I would just put out like my thoughts on stuff, and I actually was followed by some people in the content creation space, like Solid Rev followed me because he thought that I had interesting takes. Same thing with Top Hats and Champagne. I don't know if you know, he is a PC gamer. He thought I had interesting takes. Like a lot of people would follow me even though I didn't really make YouTube videos or did Twitch streaming, just because like, oh, this chick has interesting things to say that's different from typical talking points. And until last year, I had no interest in really making YouTube videos or Twitch streaming and all that, like I actually really valued my privacy more than anything. It was cool to just go on Twitter, post my thoughts on a particular topic, and walk away and not have to really not owe anyone anything. But the main thing that kind of just got me into the idea of maybe I could do YouTube was I needed something to do with myself, because like last year, June of last year, my grandfather had passed away, and me and my mother were. I definitely appreciate it. Me and my mother were taking care of him until, you know, he had passed away. And I gave myself a few months, but I'm like, man, I just need something more than gaming to kind of like entertain myself, like give me something to do that I can put like my creative thought into and just sort of just feel like myself. Because like my grandparents were very close to me. I grew up with both of them. I'd lived with them up until they had passed away. So we'd always been together. It was always me, my brother, my parents, and my grandparents were always together. So it's one of those things where it's like something's missing and I need something to like put my mind towards doing. And a lot of people had always said like, you should do like YouTube because you always have interesting things to say about gaming or just the things that you're into. And I didn't really think about it back then, you know, but then I was like, I feel like I need to do something with myself. And like, I was like, maybe I could do this. And like my early videos are so fucking cringe and corny, but like they're me, like, you know, it's the cringe and corny me. But my early YouTube videos, you know, I ended up putting out there and people just rocked with it. They vibed with it, you know? So
what up, Jack?
Yeah, what's good, Jack? But yeah, I'd asked on Twitter, like, what would you guys think of me actually starting up a YouTube channel? And I had like a lot of responses from people. And like people that also did make content, like Top Hats and Champagne. Like he was just like, yeah, you'd be great for it because you have something interesting to add to the community. I'm like, you know what? Like I value this dude's opinion because he's been doing it for a while. Maybe I do have what it takes. So I just decided, I got my phone and recorded videos and did editing on my phone. That's literally how I started it. Everything was from my cell phone. And
same. I actually started that exact same way. I was just doing gameplay all on my phone and stuff like that. And I just send it to my personal YouTube account. And then later on down the line, I made this channel right here. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, and it was just like one of those things where it's like, if I could figure out how to do it, and I learned a lot of things along the way, got a couple of things along the way, and it increased my, like, basically the quality of what I'm doing, but also, you know, the ease of being able to do it, because it's like silly setting up a phone every time, like, you know, but you did it because it was fun, and I got a lot of good feedback from it, and like, it just took off. Like a lot of people, I met a lot of cool people, and I actually really appreciate that more than anything, man. I met a lot of awesome, cool homies that I could just play video games with, like silly games like golf with friends, like literally end up playing that with a bunch of mad chill dudes that I've met through making YouTube videos, and end up playing games on Twitch, and it's always a cool time, man. Honestly, it's just fun. It's like, in a way, it's like me challenging myself to be more of an extrovert, even though that's not what I'm into, while also just doing what I'm into. You know, I have a lot of fun. Honestly, it is therapeutic. Like I have something to work toward, but I'm also like just doing what I like and just being myself, and I think that's the great thing about it.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, it and it's really fun to like cultivate a community of people of all different types. I think it's more fun to create a community of all different types instead of creating a community of a specific type. Although I understand, like, if you want like the most views and stuff like that on YouTube, like niche, sticking to your niche is probably like the easiest way to get to it, and like kind of kissing ass and shit like that is like an easy way to get like views and stuff like that. But to me, it's just like, fuck all that, man. I'm trying to I'm trying to create something that something that I'm proud of, number one, but also something that like really anybody can come through and check out. Not just this crew, but all different types of crews can come through and be like, oh yeah, that's interesting. He fucks with everything. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So I respect that about you as well, because you're very open-minded and willing to just listen and give your, 2 cents when necessary and whatnot. So respect on that front as well. But what would you say is probably the most important thing that creating content has taught you?
Well, honestly, just being myself is what attracts people to me. Like that's what I've noticed by doing YouTube. Like some people told me like I subscribe to you just because you curse, and I'm just like but that's like I understand where they're coming from, because it's like so many people, they won't curse on their channels, and it's like I get it, but I just talk the way I would talk, hanging with the homies and just being myself. And it's like one of those things where people just gravitate. I noticed that people just gravitate to me just being genuine, just being myself. They feel like that I'm like that sis that you could just come talk to, just hang with, and that's been into games, and that we could just have a conversation, even if we don't necessarily like the same things. But I always love getting recommendations from people that are into things that I'm not into, and why they're into it. And I've learned that I could be an extrovert, like even though it's not my thing, and I do like that. I like to challenge myself, and like doing YouTube is a way to challenge myself, and Twitch to do things that otherwise I would have never done, and feel at least a little more comfortable doing it. Even though it's like every time I do something, it's like that little bit of anxiety, but it's like, it's good because I care about the quality of what I'm doing. I really want it to be good. So I think that getting that little bit of anxiety is just keeps you on your toes, sort of deal.
Yeah, Crow in the chat right now is pretty much saying you capping. He's like, you ain't no damn introvert. You lying.
I've always been super shy, man. I need to dig up one picture of me where I was Halloween. I was dressed up as Supergirl. And I was always the type of chick that hid behind my mom. And I remember going to the store, and like, one of the ladies in the store is like, let me take a picture of you. I'm like, no. And I hid behind my mom the whole time. But like, she literally took a picture of me peeking my head out from behind my mom dressed up as Supergirl, because I was so scared. But that's always how I've been. I've always been extremely shy. I always hold true to my opinions. Like I'm not the type of person to cave to anybody just to fit in. But I've always been the type, I'd rather listen to what people have to say than necessarily be the first one to speak up.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's all about being yourself. Just like Dre Watson in the chat just said. He said, being yourself, it's the best way to be, flat out. And it's so true, because I mean, sometimes like I pull up on like a podcast where like, they don't like cursing and stuff like that. And it just feels like it's not that it's bad at all. It just feels very corporate-y, to where I was like, I know you have an unfiltered button somewhere in there, and I'd rather hear that. I'd like to hear that like real passion instead of that like suit, like choking your neck kind of jargon going on.
I've always been like an anarchist at heart. Like anybody tells me that I just hate being told what to do. And just the fact that you're telling me that I need to do this and do that just makes me on purpose do the opposite. And I've always been that way. Like I think that's why like I grew up as a tomboy and why I'm still a tomboy. Like I remember being a kid being told you gotta wear the dress, you gotta wear these clothes, and I'm just like, no, you gotta play with these toys. No, I don't want to do it. Like I hated always being told what to do. And I rejected it fundamentally, like in my character. I've always rejected that. It's never the way to talk to me about things. Like I love suggestions. Like if people suggest like, hey, maybe you should do this, it's cool. And if you have like a reason why, like I'm completely like acceptable with that. But when you're telling me that I should do this because of this reason, like I should feel like I have to do it, like I naturally just reject it altogether. So that's just the type of person I am.
I mean, I think that's natural, but a lot of people kind of mask it after a little while. They're just like, oh, I'm tired of rejecting. I'll just go with it. Fuck it. And whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's that little thing in my brain where
Cassie says, nah, fuck that.
Pretty much, man. I've just like naturally been that way, man. It's like I don't know how to not be that way. So it's like everyone's just like, oh, if you want to be monetized on YouTube, well, then you can't curse. You have to be good. And it's just like, then you know what? Fuck it. I just won't get monetized. Like I don't give a shit. Because it's like it's like this circular firing squad in YouTube. It feels like where if you act all clean and shit, then nobody wants to like interact with you. But then if you act dirty, it's like YouTube's just like, no, you're bad. And it's just like, well, how do you gain an audience when you can't be yourself? You know, like I can't do it. So it's like I went into doing like YouTube and Twitch that if it gets taken away from me, then so be it. I tried to do it my way and it didn't work out. So it's whatever, you know, like that's just how it is. Like if I'm walking on eggshells, and so be it. So far, everything's been cool. So like, hey, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But at that point, at any point, if like YouTube just pulls the plug, then it is what it is. But I can't like act like something I'm not. I can't just be like, oh, I'm not gonna curse because of this reason. That like I can't be fucking bothered. I'm gonna do it the way I'm gonna do it, and if it works out, then that's great. If not, hey, I tried.
All right, so like going down the line, like let's say, you know, your channel blows up some more and whatnot. What would be like a goal that you want to hit, like an end kind of goal thing, or like something that you would like to be part of in the future? Do you have any idea on that end?
To be honest, I just threw myself into this, not knowing what would come of it. To be honest, like I thought that maybe like 5 people will watch me consistently and that's it. Like that's like I set my goals so low all the time. Like I try to do my best, but I never get my hopes up. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Like when things just happen, I just go with the flow, but I have like no serious goals. I guess my only goal right now is to get to 1,000 subs on YouTube. That way I can feel like, hey, I did something. I don't know. Like, and in the grand scheme of things, it's silly, but like, I guess that's my main thing to strive for right now. So I could at least say I got 1,000 subs on YouTube. That's cool. Because I didn't think I'd get more than 100, to be honest with you. But people want to hang with me, and it's like it's awesome. Like I met some awesome people, and I love talking with them, honestly. And they love hanging with me, so it's a mutual thing, and I could dig it.
Yeah, I started with 0 followers around a year from now, and I'm almost at 400, which I'm pretty stoked about. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but I'm stoked about it, and I'm looking to hopefully hit 500 by January 1st. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So anybody that's watching, if you're not subbed, I hope you enjoy this kind of stuff. And you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this shit out so other people can see it and whatnot. Because I'm just doing my thing, being me, talking like I talk, walking like I walk, you know, just doing my damn thing. And I'm doing my best to not only invite people that I like, but inviting people that other people can not only enjoy, but also learn from as well. So like like I've had some people on here that people holler back at me and be like, why you got him on the show? Or like, I thought you were an Xbox guy. What are you doing? And stuff like that. Or I had one person after one of the shows I had, one of the Behind the Sticks. This guy straight up told me, he's like, you need to pick a side. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, but I'm not gonna like only talk to Xbox people because that's boring to me. And I don't feel like I'll learn that much.
Some of my all-time favorite like YouTubers have never picked a side. Like some of the most long-time successful ones, like your Happy Console Gamers, your Solid Revs, like they just play games and have fun. Like, so most of the people I've been like truly inspired by, like Alpha Omega Sin, dude, it's just about gaming. Like, you don't have to pick a side. Like, all you have to do is just like honestly just do what makes you happy, and if other people like that shit, they'll rock with you. And I hate when people try to tell me what to do. It's like that little part of you that becomes ignorant. So it's like if people approach me that way, I probably would feel some type of way pretty quickly.
Understandable.
But
because I don't like being shoved in the corner. I don't like people telling me exactly, you know, hey, like if you do this, you'll get, you know, a lot more. And I'm just like, I understand that, but what you're asking me to do is not be myself, like from the jump. Exactly. And you just can't. It's like
people that if people just want to fuck with you just because you pick a side, it's like it's not like they're genuine anyway. So I don't want those type people around me that they're not genuine about wanting to hang with me. It's like, look, like I can have I'm so friendly with people that we can never see things the same way, but I could still be cordial. We could still talk about games. Like, it's completely fine. I'm completely open to being friendly with people that are completely different from me when it comes to gaming. You know, that's a problem that a lot of other people have, and can't relate.
All right, so if you were to like think of something that you would like to do content wise, like who would you love to like possibly have on that you've never talked to before, or like what show would you like to feature in? Do you have anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been open to anyone's show that you know, even with YouTubers that I honestly knew so little about. Like, for example, Risk It for the Biscuit. I didn't really know much about him other than like he's subbed to so many people's, like he was like a channel member to so many people's channels, and they would always like list his name. And I would always laugh because I thought that was an amazing and hilarious name, Risk It for the Biscuit. The dude was just a name to me. And then the dude literally was just like, hey, would you love to come on my podcast? And I'm just like, sure, if we can like find a time, I don't mind. It's like, I'll go on anyone's podcast. It's like, I love meeting new people. I love hearing different perspectives. Like, that's not something that I feel threatened by. That's not something that is discouraging to me in any way. And I didn't know till after he had just asked me that dude's an Xbox guy. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really talk to many Xbox guys. So, but I'm always open to that. That's always been, like I said, 360 was my go-to platform. It hasn't been that way since with Xbox, but there was a time where Xbox won me over, and it's like whoever's got the games, whoever's got the good features that I like the most, like, you know, you can win me over. It's not I'm not brand loyal by any means. To be honest, I kind of like just want I want more control for myself rather than like what these companies do. So I'm kind of like regressing from choosing like sides and even being in the console space. Like I'm kind of like digging PC and stuff. But I don't know, I can't really say like any like podcast I'd love to be on. I'd love to be on any podcast that's welcome to have me in good faith. I know sometimes like some people invite, like some podcasts will invite you to dog you, and it's like, I mean, that's kind of weird. I mean, if it's a one-on-one, I guess I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
mind.
weird.
I've gone to bat sometimes in arguments, so I mean, I don't mind that. But if it's like a podcast where somebody has like 5 people on the panel and they're all trying to grill me, like that kind of shit is weird. But I mean, I'm open to hanging out with anybody, especially if I get to meet new people, have some fun, talk about games. I'm always down for any of that shit.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, let's keep it moving. So we pretty much hit the content stuff pretty much. I want to now ask you just some random questions before we get out of here, because we're hitting around the 2-hour point. And I want to go on ahead and ask, like, what is like a memorable moment that you've had throughout your gaming history?
I have to say, I already listed it. This one, honestly, getting Killzone Shadowfall, because I met some of my longtime friends that are like literally my brothers from that game. And some of them I've never yet to even meet, but some of them have done more for me than friends I've had in real life. And to me, that, like, yes, like
it feels weird when shit like that happens, right?
Yeah,
because it's just like, wait a second, I knew you my whole damn life, or you part of my family, and I'm over here listening and kicking it with you like on a daily, whether it's on a headset or in person. It's just like,
yeah,
fuck, like, man, like, where'd you come from?
There's been points where like when my grandmother died, and not to get too personal, but like I was completely just distraught. Like my friends, we'd be playing like Overwatch and I'd be crying the whole time because like I was going through that, and they would just listen and they'd hear me out, and they've done more for me than some family has ever done for me. And like just the fact that I met most of my really super close, tight knit like family, honestly, through Killzone Shadowfall, like that's definitely the highlight.
Yeah, man, I've had people buy me games and stuff like that. I'm just like, whoa, and then they're all asking me like, yo, how do you feel about this? Or one of my Patreons, Too Big, he like I just posted, yo, it's my birthday. He threw me $40 and was like, yo, bro,
people are so kind, man.
He's like, I know you're trying to get a capture card, so why don't you go on ahead and throw that towards it? And I was like, oh shit, like that's what's up. Like this dude lives in Hawaii.
Hustle and Motivate literally sent me a capture card, and I'm just like, bro, please don't do this, bro. Like the dude is so kind, man. Oh my god. And it's like, bro, like there's so much people that they're just like, man, just here, have this. Like they just love to give gifts and be kind, and it's so nice to see like a lot of kindness going around in the community in general. And sometimes people that you'll never even meet, man, but you just form these bonds. And just sometimes, man, it's just like people you come across that they're going through something and you're just willing to listen to them, and they remember that for a long time. It could be something as little as that, you know. And it's always good to see some awesome ass people in the community that are just so kind.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. And yes, Arcade, you're correct. Hustle is an amazing person. He's dope. He's really dope. He has some really interesting opinions that I mostly agree with, to be honest. In his setup and stuff like that, it's super clean and shit. Like bro's working hard, and I appreciate it. And he knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of people, which is really interesting as well. But yeah, let me hit a couple of these chats real quick. So Crack Lens says, Jack Move Johnny brought me to your channel, new sub. Awesome. So I appreciate that. Xbox International Podcast says this is a great show. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate y'all.
Let's go 4 hours.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So when you hear shit like that, that means, hey, man, I'm doing things right.
Hey, you said we're about to hit 2 hours, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, it's already been two. My OBS says it's been about 2 hours and 3 minutes. that we've been running.
That's
So
true,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, time flies when you're having a good time, and I mean that's just how it goes. But moving forward, I want to know what genre does Cassie Cage just not really like. I want you to picture it like this. Think of walking into a game store and each game is set out by genres. What's the last one that you're going to stop and look at?
Kind of crazy to say because I used to be into, and it's so hard for me to say because I'm willing to try almost anything. But I'd say like sports sims now, I just don't have any interest in anymore. I used to be super into them, but now they just feel like rinse and repeat to the point where I just kind of roll my eyes and scoff. But like if any of them like end up like doing something new, fresh, interesting, like I said, with like if Madden did like VR2, PSVR2, like the helmet thing, I'd want to get a VR for it to try that out. Like that would give me a reason to want to get into Madden. But like for me, it's like if I can't get Madden for 50 cents on PC, then I don't want it. Like, and even then, I feel like it's 50 cents too much.
Damn,
that's honestly
the shade.
The thing is, it's like I used to be super into it, but now it's just like I just feel like they're cash grabs, man. I just not into it the way I used to be.
I love the EA shade because I'm there for it, and I know Cozy is too. Cozy don't fuck with EA no more.
Yeah, it's a shame,
she does
man.
not want to give him $1, and it has nothing to do with Madden. She just doesn't really like EA anymore because of some of the practices that they've had, which they do have some interesting practices. But I ain't gonna lie, I still fuck with some of their games. Not the sports games, but like things like Jedi Fallen Order and I'm probably gonna check out this new. I'm probably gonna check out this new Need for Speed. They're talking about making. I believe they were talking about making like a Black Panther game coming out.
He said nope.
Like yep.
Nope.
Yep. She ain't fucking with it.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Crow was asking in the chat what multiplayer genre is your favorite.
Multiplayer genre, shit. I used
that's a little deeper.
Honestly, you know what it is? It's like multiplayer just ain't been hitting like it used to for me. Like 360 was like pinnacle multiplayer gaming. Like I used to be obsessed with first person military shooters for the whole online, and that's just fallen off, man. Like. And I hate Battle Royale, but I end up playing Fortnite a lot because it at least gets the whole like Battle Royale formula pretty good for me. Like good enough for me to play the game, but am I passionate about Fortnite? No. Like I'm waiting for that game that's that first person shooter that's going to get multiplayer, right? And I was hoping that Halo Infinite was going to be that game, but it just didn't pan out. For
was
a while,
it the
I was
content
hoping,
or was it the gameplay?
The gameplay was good. The gameplay was actually pretty damn good. The beta that they put out, like the shooting was a little off, but they fixed that when the game launched. And me and my friends were having fun with it, but after a while, it's just like the whole content thing, man. The lack of maps. It's weird because it's like Halo has been like a party game. It's for it to be like these weird game modes that don't feel very fun. It's more like competitive. It just didn't really seem. It wasn't fun. It was one of those things where I played it with my friends for a little while and then we just fell off.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because I mean, my favorite thing to do in Halo was to laugh and bullshit. like Griff Ball, fucking Infected, Territories, which they got something like that now. I mean, King of the Hill, which is there now, but it's just like, man, y'all rolling this shit out way too slow for me right now. And then on top of that,
take it offline and then relaunch it right. Because I think that would instantly get me to want to jump back and play it. Like if they pulled a Final Fantasy 14 and took the shit offline and then relaunched it saying, now we have everything that should have been here day one, I would instantly re-download and give it a try. Now it's like they're slowly putting in all these little things, and it's like, I'm sorry, I just don't care. Like,
it feels very sweaty. It feels like very sweaty, and I'm not trying to play Halo to get the most kills. I've never been that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, although it's nice when you get the most kills, it's like, oh damn, I just got like 25 kills or something like that. I mean, that's dope. Don't get me wrong, but like that's not why I turned on the game. Like I like to do weird stuff. Those like back in like the Halo 3 or something like that era, they had like the, what was it called, like the mongoose races and shit like that in it. Like it was just goofy and fun, and that's why I liked the shit. Like it was just wild. But now it just feels very like MLG, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to be a major league gamer. I'm just trying to goof off.
It's just like there's a lot of fun that's been taken out of the multiplayer aspect in order to push, like, you know, battle passes and just this whole like seasonal ideal. And it's just like, I get that, but almost none of you guys can put forward the amount of content to make that interesting. They always fall short. And it's like, what had me interested in Halo Infinite was the fact that they said, we have the content is going to be there. And then they said that, then when push comes to shove, it wasn't. So it's like, why is it that only Fortnite can seem to get this right? And it's like, it's Fortnite. It's so stupid that I'm 29 playing Fortnite. Like, I feel like an idiot, but it's like, does it do it better than the rest? Sadly, yes, it does.
Damn. Those are the facts, though, for you. So, or at least your facts.
That's how I feel, man. It's like when Gears 5 put Sarah Connor in the game, but it's old ass Sarah Connor, the one that no one wants to play as, but freaking Fortnite could put Terminator 2 Sarah Connor. They're smart enough to do that. It's like, doesn't that say it all? Like, why am I playing as old Sarah Connor from the new game when everyone and their mother obviously wants to play as T2 Sarah Connor? It's things like that these games just miss it. It's like they think that they know what we're into, but they don't. And it's just, it kind of just, it's like a lot of missed opportunities in gaming.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they ask the wrong questions.
Yeah.
And
or they ask the wrong people.
There you go. Yeah, where it's just kind of like it's weird how uniform people will be on certain subjects, and it's just like, how did you miss that?
Yeah,
or whatnot. But anyways, let's keep it moving. So I also wanted to know, what are the 3 best games that you played within the last 365 days? It doesn't have to be the most new games. It could be some classics or whatnot. But like, what are 3 games that you just like fucked with hard this last year?
So Cult of the Lamb, that game is freaking awesome. It's a small game, man, but I love the art style. I love how demonic the game is while posing this cutesy look. And I just think, to me, like right now, that's like my personal game of the year. And being able to name all your little minions after like your friends and then sentencing them to doom if you so choose to, like, all that shit is hilarious to me. I really had a lot of fun with that.
That's one. Another
game that I really got into was the Trials of Mana remake. I definitely revisit that game here and there. It is a lot of fun. It's like, it's a action RPG game, and it's a remake from the original that was 2D, but then they remade it into 3D. I love the art style, and honestly, oh my god, every time I think about that game, I think about the music, and then, like, I just want to pop it in and play it again. That's a game that definitely goes super under the radar, but Square Enix said that the game did way better than they thought it would. So I'm excited to see where that goes from there. With Trials of Mana, or the Mana series in general. But anybody that's into like RPGs and just wants something that's really cool, but also, I don't know, like it's unique. Like Trials of Mana is super unique in its own way. Like you get to choose between like 6 different characters to play as. You get to choose 2. And that's really cool. It gives a lot of replay value. If you're going to play it on the consoles, on PS4 or PS5 if you want, plays at 60 FPS. So that's, to me, that's what made me like dead set. Like, I got to get this game. It runs at 60 FPS. It's cute. It's fun. It's a small scale title, but it's one of those games that it's small in scale, but it plays solid. I have a lot of fun in that game. Let me see, another game that I've really gotten into past 365. I'd say, like, honestly, I really enjoyed Stray. I really like that game.
The kitty game.
Yes, I got so into it that I literally wanted a cat, and now I'm getting a kitten soon. So,
oh my!
I guess that game did its job, right?
I guess
that's crazy to say. Well, I was really into that game, and I was streaming that game, and oh my god, when I was streaming that game on Twitch, and some asshole came onto my stream and spoiled the ending to me, and for me, an hour before I got to the ending. You know how pissed that was? Oh my god. But even so, yeah, I just ignored that person's existence and just said everything they said is clearly a lie, and just went on to beat the game. They were right, but I just refused to believe it. But even so, even with that, it didn't discourage my enjoyment of the game. I thought it was really fun. The ending left a little more to be desired, but overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was unique. It was like, never really got to play as a cat, and it'd be like a legit cat, not like a animated sort of like a Crash Bandicoot sort of deal, like those types of characters. So it was cool. I enjoyed it for what it was. I like games that are small in scale that I don't expect much from, but then when I play it, it's like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Now, if they make a Stray 2 and you're a puppy, are you gonna go buy a dog?
Oh yeah. No, I'm not opposed. I'm actually more of a dog person. I've always been more of a dog person. That game kind of made me I don't know. It kind of made me be like, hey, maybe cats are legit too. I have to see for myself now. So I'm getting a kitten.
Fair enough. Okay. So obviously you said Cult of the Lamb was the top pick for that, right?
Yeah, for this year so far. Oh my god, I love that game.
All right, now I'm going to flip the question upside down and ask you, what game has pissed you off to the point that you just like stopped playing it or took it back or something like that?
You know what, man? I just avoid playing games that I feel like I have a good nose for bullshit at this point, and not always, but I've avoided playing games that honestly, that it's like, I don't know. I guess you could say like when I do buy games, it's like I really, really want to like them. Like, for example, Horizon Zero Dawn. I really wanted to like that game.
Oh, here we go.
But I just don't like Aloy. I think she's fucking boring. Like, the reason, like, can I have a character that looks cool that I want to play as? The Last of Us 2, I guess you could say I walked away from that game. I did.
Damn.
I dropped it. Yeah. And I really loved the first game. So I already knew off the bat that I wasn't gonna like Abby, so I went into it with that in mind. Like, I know that I'm not gonna like this character. She kind of comes off as a bitch. Okay. She kills off my favorite character. Okay. But then as I'm playing the game, I also realized that Ellie is also an insufferable bitch. So I'm like, at this point, there is nobody that I'm going to play as in this game that I like besides like the first 20 minutes. So at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm fucking done here. And it sucks because I think the gameplay is amazing. I really did enjoy the gameplay, but it's like I can't play as characters that I either can't relate to, can't sympathize with, can't feel sorry for, or just can't understand how they are. And that's just how I felt about Ellie in the sequel. I can't understand why she's an annoying human being. I can't relate. And I just said, like, I'm halfway through the game and I don't like this character, and I already know that the next character I'm gonna play as, I already know I'm not gonna like her, so fuck this shit, I'm good. I don't know what else. Another game. I mean, games like, I don't know, a game that I've played that I walked away from.
Well, I mean, you kind of answered that by saying Horizon and
It's
Last
sad
of Us
because I
2.
want to, and the sad thing is I want to give Horizon Zero Dawn another try. I want to, because it's like I want to like the game. I think the world is interesting.
So
It's just that
if they come out with a new one remake, and let's be silly,
oh god,
let's say it's $70, you buying it?
oh no, bro. I love The Last of Us, the first The Last of Us game. I wouldn't even buy that remake. For $70 for what? The same gameplay, bro? I'm good, man. Like, I just feel like it's so pointless. It's like we could have a Jack and Dexter remake, but that's actually built from the ground up, a game that's really old, that is beloved, that deserves a genuine facelift. Instead, you remake a game that's 9 years old and has the same gameplay. And it's like, I would have been totally on board with buying The Last of Us remake that had The Last of Us 2's gameplay mechanics and had online. Like that, oh my god. That would have been like chef's kiss, bro. Like I would have paid $70 for that, no doubt. But it's a game that looks prettier but has ultimately the same gameplay. I don't need to pay $70 for that. I'll just pop in my remaster, play it at 60 FPS. I'm happy with that.
True. Have you ever played Dead Space?
I did, but I got scared.
So you're not looking
games.
forward to the new one then?
No, I actually want to play it. Like with horror games, like for example, like Resident Evil or Dead Space. Like I think that they're so Alien Isolation is another one. I think that they're so amazing at what they do, and I really, really want to play them, but I get scared. So it's like if Dead Space is a really good remake, I'll buy it just to support it, and I'll play it for as long as I can. And when I get scared off, I get scared off. If I can manage to make it through, even better. I guess it's like a challenge for myself. But like, if I see a game that's genuinely amazing, like I do want to support it, even if it scares me off. I'd say that it did a good job if it manages to do that.
So the reason I ask you about Dead Space is because it's. Would you spend $70 for that?
Yeah, I would, because it's a game that doesn't have, it's missed. It's actually missed. It was on 360, back in the day, and there wasn't like a remaster on like PS4, Xbox One. They brought it over, they ported it, I believe, to Xbox, if I'm not mistaken, but that's just the standard, like straight up port. So I think that if the remake is like awesome, it expands upon, like they're saying it's expanding upon the original game, but it is a remake. It seems like there's a lot of new stuff there to be offered that I think could potentially warrant the $70 price tag.
You know why I'm asking you this question though, right?
The bullshit tag. Yeah, because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, what about The Last of Us?" It's like, no,
Exactly.
I didn't miss that game. I didn't miss the game. Like I bought a PS3 mainly to play The Last of Us, and then I bought the remaster on the PS4, and I played through the story like 3 fucking times. I don't miss the game because I played through it multiple times. Whereas Dead Space, it's like we played it on 360 and it's been a long time and they're doing a full-on remake of it. So that's a game that's actually missed. So it's like it warrants that. Like when Distraught Humans got a remake, it's like that's like a fucking 16, 17-year-old game that's getting a remake. It's like, okay, like that makes sense, you know, that's a game that was on PS2. So like that's exciting. That's like I said, I would have loved to have seen a Jack and Daxter remake because that's an old ass game that's super beloved. That would be amazing if it was on a PS5. Oh my god, I would lose my shit. You know, I would love to see that.
So let's see. So I asked that more or less, yeah, because of those. Like Last of Us, and now we're hearing about like Horizon Zero Dawn being remade and whatnot. But do you feel like these remasters or remakes, do you feel they should be at the same price of like a brand new game? Because I'll give you a little like backstory. I had Jerry Hook on my podcast, which he is the head of Jara Sparks, which is a brand new studio. He used to be the lead designer for Halo Infinite. He left there, I want to say, like back in March or April. But I had him on my show on this podcast. I want to say like a month or two ago, and he was telling me as a developer that at no point should a remake of a game or remaster be the same price as a brand new experience. Do you agree or disagree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I mean, I do completely get it, you know. I agree because, you know, it's kind of hard to like, it's like when you have a remake, that there's remakes, then there's reimaginings, then there's remasters, like there's all different sorts of things. And to put them all into one box is kind of difficult. But if you're going to do like a straight up remake that's like shot for shot and doesn't really add anything, just makes things look prettier, like The Last of Us specifically, shouldn't be $70. Like, sorry, bro. And it takes features away. Nah, it's bullshit to me. To be more than the original game, nah, that doesn't. That's
even more crazy that it's more than the original.
Yeah, like you get more with the original game. That's a crazy ass sentiment. And I think that's where the line is drawn. Like if they, and it's like even if like say if they did the remake of The Last of Us and it's like I don't want to use the example because like fanboys get like out of shape about it, but it's like the easiest thing to bring up to describe where I'm going with it. It's like if they would have like redid the gameplay for it to be The Last of Us 2's gameplay with the multiplayer and all that, like if it was like the ideal remake, is it still where it's 70? It's like I don't really, it's kind of hard to justify it, but would I pay the 70 because I know I would get like 100 hours of gameplay out of it? Yeah. But a game that I'm probably going to play like for 20 hours with that remake, and it's just a standard remake, no multiplayer, paying $70 for that, I would have to miss the game immensely to do that. Because there's some games, like I think we all have those games that will break for and do something that we deem irrational in most situations. Like if The Last of Us was stuck on the PS3, and there was no PS4 remaster, it ran at 60 FPS, and they brought this remake out, and it's the same way, I would probably justify spending 70 on it. because like I genuinely missed the game. It's been a long ass time playing it on PS3. It would have been running at 60 FPS, which the PS3 version didn't. Like that would be so much more like I would be willing to spend that money because it's a game I'd missed and I would love to revisit, but just didn't really miss The Last of Us, even though I do like the game enough to justify that price point.
Fair enough. Crow says in the chat, there was this question I found online: why are people so afraid of remake dash remasters when you can go back and play the original? And that's
yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's just like, it just feels like stagnation to me in the industry. Like they'd rather remake The Last of Us or put out this fancy remaster remake of Horizon Zero Dawn instead of putting out a new experience, because it's like easy money. And it sucks that I feel like there's complacency. It's like, you know, two totally different industries, but I feel like gaming is slowly falling in line with the film industry, where we're seeing all these remakes of films over the past 10 years because it's safe. It's just an established franchise that they're going to do a remake of because the name in itself is easy marketing. And it falls in line with also consolidation. We've seen the film industry consolidate, and it's led to more laziness. And I feel like a lot of these things we've seen these things happen for the worse. And I feel like gaming is going down that line where it's following this entertainment industry. And I feel like the same results are going to come from it, unfortunately.
Yeah, me and Strictly dope dude, by the way. You should go check out his content.
Strictly awesome.
Great guy within the community. Loves PlayStation and playing on his PC and whatnot. But me and him got into a little spat about The Last of Us because I was talking to him. I had him on the show before The Last of Us remake actually came out, I believe.
Yep.
And he was 100% down with getting the game and all that joint and whatnot. And he just kept telling me the game is remade from the ground up. And I was just like mind boggled that like he was telling me that not because it's like wrong in my opinion or whatnot, but like I feel like half of the game is ground up. Like mechanically it's like made from the ground up, but the game is like line for line the same. So like when you use the ground like built from the ground up, I feel like you got to be really direct with how you say that. So like saying the whole game's made from the ground up, it's like, no, it's not. I'm literally hearing the same lines that was in the last version. I'm hearing the same story.
Same audio.
To me, it's not the ground up. It is mechanically made from the ground up, better and whatnot. So, I mean, I just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to Strictly, though, by the way. Dope dude.
I never tell people what to do. Like I'm just saying what I'm doing, you know? Like I never tell people, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Like when Last of Us came out, and I was very vocal saying I'm not getting it, and it's like, yo, anybody who got it, like I hope you have fun with the game. Like, you know, I'm never trying to discourage people from having fun with playing games. So
if you love it, if you have to have it, then let me get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me stop you from having a good time because it ain't my eyes or my time. So don't matter to me. but yeah, I had to let them know. I was like, it ain't for me, dog. Have a good time. Yeah. But I want the chat to kind of partake in this as well, if you guys can, if you guys are willing to. But I want to know, what is your most anticipated game from here to 2024? Or better yet, a game that's been at least announced.
Yeah. So that's for me and the chat.
Yeah. You can go ahead and answer it, but I'm gonna see if anybody in the chat wants to engage with that at all.
For me, it's It's got to be Bayonetta 3.
Oh snap! Switch game.
Yeah, I love Bayonetta. Bayonetta is freaking awesome. Like, I love the first and the second game, and for a while I thought 3 wasn't gonna happen, and it unfortunately the main voice actress for Bayonetta isn't reprising a role, which is a big blow for me personally because I think that she played Bayonetta perfectly. Like, just the fact that she's not there, it does hurt, but shit, Bayonetta 2 wasn't going to happen, if not for Nintendo's intervention. So the fact that we're getting a third game, and even though it's in development hell, I'm excited for it. Like, that is a game I've had pre-ordered for years, thinking that it's probably not going to happen, but I've kept my pre-order, and it's happening, and it's coming out the 28th, so I'm definitely excited for that.
That's what's up. Xbox International Podcast says Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That looks awesome.
Crow said Fire Emblem Engage. Dre said Callisto Protocol.
Awesome choices, definitely.
Yeah. The game that I'm looking forward to, which y'all can roast me if you want to, but the game that I'm most looking forward to is Ark Survival Evolved 2. Because it's all about family.
Are you really serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
Does it have a sequel in the works?
Yeah, the sequel is in the works right now. And guess who is the protagonist in the game? It's an actor. And I gave you a clue. I gave you a clue after I announced what it was.
Oh, I know you're talking. What's his name? Triple X.
Yes, you're on the right track.
Damn it, I remember the trailer, but bald dude, I forget his name. Honestly,
that's fine. I'll just go on ahead and say it. Vin Diesel. There you go. Yeah.
I remember the trailer now. Now that you mentioned it. You said you made a Fast and Furious reference, and then you're like, I'm like, it's that dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. They're actually putting a story in the game, which the original game, it has lore, but it doesn't have like a story, really. Yeah. So I'm really excited to play that. I've in the first one, I put over 150 or 60 days into that game.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to move forward because the game is insanely creative.
I tried playing it. I think I ended up eating my own poop and then dying. So I think that's from what I do remember. That's how it played out.
You can definitely do that. Spoiled meat. You can eat all kinds of terrible shit in that game. But the game is very creative. It's just I could see why it'd scare off a lot of people because it is time consuming, and building every single thing from scratch is it's hard to ask somebody to do that. And then on top of it, like, let's say like taming certain animals will take you like possibly like an hour if you don't have the right equipment. And then like if you hatch an egg for like a Gigarex, it will take you like something like 9 days to fully raise it, like in real time. So
wow.
So
you're
yeah,
like the first person that's actually like discussed that game with me. Like I've never really heard anything about it. I tried it. I think I got it for free on some platform, so I gave it a go. And I'm just like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I feel like a moron. I'm out.
Well, in case anybody, including yourself, Cassie, if any of y'all ever want to play it, let me know, because I will teach you everything you need to know to play that game. But oh yeah, and I'll even get you on like a boosted server and stuff like that, so things move really fast. Instead of instead of literally working all day to make a hut.
Okay.
Yeah. I can have you a mansion like in like just a couple hours if you want. But,
that's cool for sure.
But yeah, I love that game. It's my most played game in the last generation. Before that it was I want to say like Borderlands 2 and 3. I played the living shit out of those games. Rocket
Borderlands
League as
2 is
well.
awesome. Super awesome. Borderlands 3, the gunplay was decent, but I didn't get into the story. That show's
Story was mid.
corny.
Story was mid for
Super
3,
mid,
but the gameplay was really fun. But Borderlands 2, chef's kiss, as you said earlier.
Yeah,
that game
classic.
was fire.
See, that I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't probably simp for a remake of Borderlands 2 if they did it right. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, when they killed my girl Maya in Borderlands 3, I wanted to punch whoever directed that game.
Yeah.
Like, who wrote this garbage?
So
this is one of the
corny.
best characters. You killed off my favorite character and left me with this bullshit ass little girl.
The little girl. And then at the end, we just play This Girl's on Fire by Alicia Keys. I just wanted to throw myself off a cliff. Like, could this be any more cornball?
And then Lilith was kind of a piece of shit too in that game. Like,
yeah, it's
I
the
just
cool
wasn't
you
feeling
end
it.
up with. It's just like, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah, it
Not a
gets
game
even
I'm
more
interested in
ragtag
revisiting.
than it was before. Like, it doesn't feel like you upgraded by getting these new characters. It felt like a big, like, downgrade. Like, so I wasn't feeling it at all. Yeah, Cozy, you're right. She said that girl was so annoying. Yeah, she was. The entire time that you're with her, she just complains. It's
And
super
like
annoying.
they kept updating Borderlands 3 to make all the cool ass like broken shit like dumbed down. Like, and it's just like that's what makes it fun when you find the broken shit in the game and then you're just like you're finding what works the best. And it's like, well, we're gonna nerf that. And it's just like, thanks for nerfing the build. Like, that's what makes it fun, finding the build that's broken as shit and going with
because
it. It's
now
like
I
they want
have
to
to
just
re-strategize everything. Now I have to re-strategize everything because you just fucking didn't just roll with what you have. And that's one of the cool things about Bethesda games is like they embrace some of their like flaws in the game. They're just like, oh, it's a flaw? Well, can you still play it? Okay, cool. So I dig that a lot. But we just got a few questions left before we get to the end, and one of them, which chat you can interact on this if you want to as well. But if you were to go back into time, grab 2 IPs that are dead currently, and bring them to the AAA quality of today, what 2 dead IPs would those be?
It'd be definitely Sleeping Dogs.
Ooh.
That whole true crime franchise / Sleeping Dogs. So Sleeping Dogs was supposed to be like technically true crime.
It was supposed
Streets
to, and
of
they
Hong
switched
Kong.
it.
So like those games I would definitely love to see in modern day. And I'd say Onimusha, man. I would love to see Onimusha make a return. I remember playing oh man, so Onimusha 1 was my first game, and but Onimusha 3 was so sick because it had Leon the Professional in it. That was so freaking awesome that they did that. And like nowadays, I feel like if they would bring a celebrity into a game, I would just hate it because I hate all celebrities now. But I cannot stand them. They're just insufferable pricks to me. They're just fucking annoying. But like that dude, I forget his name. I think he's like Gene something. But it was like such a weird but cool thing, and I really welcomed it. I really enjoyed Onimusha 3 for that. I would love to see Onimusha make any sort of comeback. Now they did try a remaster, and I bought it. I supported it, hoping that something would come out of it with PS4. But nothing since. It's kind of sad. Hopefully something comes up eventually, though.
Mm-hmm. And was that 2?
Yep. So Sleeping Dogs.
Oh yeah,
and
Sleeping Dogs. I
Onimusha.
forgot about Sleeping Dogs. Yeah. So yeah, those were 2 fantastic games back in its in its heyday. That'd be fantastic to bring back. It'd bring a lot of memories back for a lot of current gamers and whatnot. So I know I'd be down to play those games. I would for sure buy Sleeping Dogs day one. Like that game was fantastic. But okay. All right. So now I got to ask you. So throughout all of gaming, all of it, what about it frustrates you? So it can be anything from community to the games itself to broken games coming out, just anything.
I'd say just a generalized explanation that encompasses a lot of different things is just all these companies just trying to take power away from the player. And that falls into a lot of different topics in general. A lot of that is the cloud gaming thing, the whole the messed up monetization practices that are borderline gambling. Like a lot of that, just kind of just trying to phase out physical media. A lot of these things do take power away from the player. It's kind of why I'm like more so than ever before abandoning the consoles, because I remember PS3's main moniker was power to the players. And it's just like, what happened to that? I just don't feel that anymore. It's like, what now the console's telling me what to do. That's fucking nuts, bro. Like, where are you? Like, that's what's crazy, man. Like I get on my Xbox Series X and it's like it just does whatever the fuck it wants to do. If it be uploading to the cloud, and it's like, who the fuck is in charge here? Like I don't like that stuff. I like having I like having control, and I just feel like consoles and just the general like direction gaming is going. Windows 11 is funny, man. Like weird about like just access to your information. I don't like any of that shit, like I just feel like gaming in general is just taking this turn to taking power away from the consumer, and I absolutely cannot stand it. And I wish a lot of people would wise up to the fact that phasing out physical media is not good. Like these are all little blows, and to some people it's not important, but in the grand scheme of things, I remember you having one of your other someone you invited someone else on your podcast, and they were just like I was posing the reality that a lot of these companies want you to own nothing and be happy, and they said that they were completely fine with that, and my mind was just blown. Like I couldn't fathom being of that mindset. Like when I collect games, like all the stuff that I collect film as well, because I want to preserve it in the most personal way possible. Like that's how I view collecting games. Like I want to preserve it in my small little way forever. And I think like game preservation is so important to me. And same thing with film, with censorship and all that stuff, like taking, that's another big one, censorship. Like, why is it that these companies are telling me what I can and can't see? I'm an adult, and respecting the ESRB, like all this stuff, like it's just annoying to me, and I hate it.
Yep. Yeah. I understand. See, I see where Cozy's at, because she loves cloud gaming and she does not care about physical media. So she's literally similar to what you had heard on a different podcast with somebody else. But like for me, it's like I'm all about choices.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
I like it's cool if I can play a game on the cloud. It's cool that I can get it digitally. It's cool to even play on a subscription service. But if I can get it physical as well, like whether I love because what I've noticed with today's kind of, gaming or gamer is that like I know what games I really want, and then I know what games I'm willing to play. Two totally different things, right? So I got Game Pass because there's games on there that I don't know about that I'm willing to play. But sometimes I find a game that I'm like, man, this is actually pretty fire. And then I end up buying it. I end up buying a digital version, or I'll go to the store and see it on sale. Like I went to some like ragtag, retro gaming store, but they sold like newer stuff as well. Mm-hmm. And while it was on the PlayStation store for $70, Ghost of Tsushima, I found a physical copy still in the wrapper for $40.
Cheap. Yep.
And I bought the game, posted online, and they're like, "Ain't no way you got that for $40." I was like, that's what you get when you get it physical. Like sometimes you can go somewhere and find a sale on it and whatnot. And I want that kind of, you know, fluctuation within like the market to be available to where one store can afford to sell you this for hella cheap, but maybe the online is like more expensive. Now, if they didn't have that copy, if they didn't have that hard copy and I had to get it for $70 or sit around and wait for a sale, I probably wouldn't have bought it.
And when physical media disappears, it's like, what? Why does PlayStation or Xbox, like, why would they need to lower the price of their game at that point? You can only buy it on the PlayStation store, the Xbox store. It's like, why do they have to give you a deal? They don't.
Exactly.
Like, I love more options. Like, I think that's great. If you want to do cloud gaming, that's cool. I think that these things should coexist, but I know, you know, where these companies want to go, because at the end of the day, they want all the control and they want us to have as little control as possible, when it's like they have to concede the reality that if not for the consumer, they would not exist, period. But they find all these little ways to just slowly ease people into going in a certain direction, because they do want to get rid of the things that I like, and I don't like that.
Yeah, and Cozy's actually mentioning something in the chat. She says Xbox does allow third parties to sell codes, which that's nice, but who's to say they can pull that plug at any moment?
Yeah, that can change overnight.
And to be able to have physical out there, then you can't really tell people what to do or whatnot. Like when somebody's tired of playing a game, there's always going to be those people trying to sell back the shit that they bought. And I want that shit.
It's like, why PC is so awesome is because it's like, I don't have to buy the Steam game on Steam. There's plenty of other websites that sell Steam keys, but who's to say, like, the Xbox store on the Xbox platform, where there is no other like marketplace on the Xbox itself, or the same thing with PlayStation. There's no other. I can go on a PlayStation 5. The only marketplace that is present is the PlayStation store. There's no other marketplace. And it's like, who knows how long, like, if you get rid of physical media, they can tighten up and not do any of these things. And here's the thing. It's like with Nintendo. Why do I buy Nintendo games? Because it's like they never go down in price. And it's like, so it's like, why bother indulging? Because it's like, I can buy a Nintendo game physically, and then 5 years later, it'll still be worth just about the same price or more. You can't say that for like PlayStation or Xbox games. You buy them, and like a month later, they're like, fucking, you're lucky you get $5 for it. Like, they become worthless. You buy that sports game, and it's like you paid $70 for it. When the next one comes out, it's worth 50 cents.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to disagree with you on that specific point right there. But yeah, I mean, that's a great thing to bring up on what to be frustrated about within gaming. So let's go on ahead and flip that question on its head, and I want you to tell me a dream come true for gaming for you.
Dream come true. Dream come true. Damn. I don't know. I'd say, like, it's sad that it's like I'm super nostalgic. Like I want remakes of things. Like I guess a remake of Tekken 3 or Mortal Kombat 3 or like just done right. You know, I don't know, like it's hard to look forward to new games because I just feel like the games that I played back in the day were more interesting or just had more interesting characters that I wanted to be into.
Well, back in that time, it was like very groundbreaking for a lot of these different games.
It's true, yeah.
So like
And
a Grand Theft
games,
Auto,
yeah.
they had a 1 and 2 in London.
Yeah.
But once they hit 3, it was groundbreaking because it was a totally different type of game. It was, you know, the power was there to be able to like enforce like the vision that they had.
You know what? I'll go with this because I don't want to say throwing out a remake because I feel like that's like a shitty answer. I'd say give me a great Ghost in the Shell video game or Mobile Fighter G Gundam video game. Give me something like that, and that would be a dream come true for me. Like, because I feel like they'll never happen, but if they did, or even like a modern Cowboy Bebop video game, something like that would be a dream come true for me. So I feel like those are things that would never ever happen, and if they did, it'd be freaking sick in modern day.
Okay, so before we hit the last 2 questions, I'm gonna hit the chat real quick. And Nate says, yeah, a lot of these companies trying to get consumers to own nothing and rent everything. That's literally crazy. And it's just not. Oh yeah, he says, and it's just not gaming companies. Yeah, absolutely, you're right. I mean, you look at, you really look at subscription services in general. They really train you to not buy as much things.
And I indulge in everything. I indulge in streaming services. I indulge in digital media. Like, I'm not opposed to that. But if I value a piece of entertainment, I make sure to grab a physical copy, like, because I value it. So I'm not opposed to any of these sorts of things. I think they're great, especially depending on your situation. Like, for example, if I lived in like a place, for example, in Florida that gets destroyed by hurricanes, do you think I would own as much physical media as I do? I don't think so. You know, I don't think that'd be a smart like decision to make, because any given summer, a hurricane can come in and just wipe that away, you know, and it's sad that that's the reality that some people in Florida deal with. But under those circumstances, I'd probably be a completely different type of collector. You know, I'd probably be all digital.
Right. He also goes on to say digital stores constantly have older games priced like they came out day one. Unless there is a sale going on, digital stores need to be better with permanent price cuts. Which, I mean, I agree with on that.
My homie Oz, he knows me too well. He said Devil May Cry and Bayonetta crossover. Yup. That's another dream come true for me. Yeah. I'm mad that he thought of it and I couldn't even think of it, but it's true.
There you go. See, that's what friends are for. They're there to remind you.
He knows me better than I know myself.
All right. So let's hit these last couple. So the one is, what do you enjoy doing outside of gaming? Like, do you have any like talents that you like to work on, or is there, or anything?
You know what? I used to longboard a lot, but I stopped doing that. It's just because I moved to like a different state, and that used to be something I used to love to cruise. Like, that used to be my thing. But I love film. When I'm sick, I don't really like to play video games. I've been sick, so like the past like 4 days, I've been just laying on my couch or in my bed, just watching like old horror films, like really old school shit. And that, I love old film. Like, I'm super passionate about that. So that's like something I'm super into. I love discussing it. Like, on my channel, it's like I talk video games, but I also love to talk about film that I'm interested in. But yeah, I mean, I love like shooting sports. Like, I love to actually shoot guns as like a hobby. So that's the thing I like to do.
What's your favorite gun?
I straight up, I'm very simple. 9mm. That's what I go with. That's my go-to. I'm a strong believer in self-defense, especially for women. The equalizer to me between fighting a man that's trying to do harm to you is a gun. That's just the reality of it. But I also support safely carrying a weapon and being knowledgeable on that, and only using it for self-defense, period.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. And,
I also like to golf occasionally. I just love hitting things. So golf is amazing. You can hit a ball really far. I enjoy that. So
she enjoys puncturing things.
Well, targets, not people.
Yeah. She's like, pause.
Or animals. I do not do hunting. That's not my thing. I shoot at targets that are paper.
Yep. Yeah. So
and
my
video
favorite.
Games.
So my favorite, which I have one, is 45.
Nice.
I got a Springfield XD 45.
Nice.
ACP.
Springfield's great. I got a Springfield as well.
Yeah, they're clean. They're definitely clean. But a gun that I really want is a 30-06. Just for like the distance and like hunting purposes and stuff like that.
Okay, so you're into hunting.
No, I'm not. I just like to be able to. I'd like to be able. I have a lot of friends that do hunting and whatnot, and
so you'd be into it with them.
Exactly, because I'm a Midwest. I'm a Midwest boy.
Okay.
I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. There's sticks all around you. I'm down to go out and do that stuff. I enjoy going out shooting clay, target shooting with like my pistol and whatnot. But when my bro let me borrow his 30-06, and like we just set up a bunch of like milk jugs all over the place and like put coloring in it and like exploded them with the shots and whatnot. That shit was fun. And so it's not like that I exactly need to do hunting with it. Because I mean, I don't have to go out and kill animals or whatnot. But like, hey, if we need to get something for dinner, I sure wouldn't mind having something like that.
Oh yeah, I support hunting with people that actually use like their game like as food, like not just shooting animals just to kill them. Like, you know, you're gonna eat them or whatever have you. Like their loss is going to be of purpose. Now, people that just like shoot animals just for sport, just to kill, like I'm very like, it's funny because like with video games and like films and stuff, I love gory stuff, but in real life, like if I know it's real, like I'm scared of it, like genuinely like horrified. Like I couldn't kill like an animal. Like I'm not that, like I'd be scared to, you know, so it's not my thing. But hunters that hunt game and, you know, goes to a purpose, like totally support it.
Gotcha. And then, do you have any questions for me?
Like, what got you to do like YouTube in general? Like, what inspires you to do this? Like,
That's everyone's favorite question. That's everybody's favorite question for me. More or less because I've always been very talkative with like people, and I always like to see people's views and kind of challenge my own. And as well as, you know, I got a family and I live in Iowa now. So like, and I've moved like, I want to say like 5 or 6 times within the last like 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Yeah. So you've been all over.
So I meet people, sure, but I don't stick around too long. I ended up moving somewhere. I ended up moving from Denver to Kansas City because of my job. Right. And then my wife got a job, and we ended up moving from Kansas City to Kansas, and then from Kansas to here in Iowa. So it's just like, man, I'm constantly moving around and whatnot. I'm not finna sit around and talk to my 4-year-old about God of War. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk to my wife about anything really but Halo, because that's really all she plays. She plays Halo, Arc, and like Nintendo games, like these classics and shit that I got. So like having somebody to talk to was a big deal for me, and then still being able to learn is also a big deal to me as well. Because as much as everybody likes to think they know it all, they don't. You know, so like, I mean, I entered into the scene thinking I knew exactly what I was talking about, and ran into so many people so much smarter than me on specific subjects and whatnot. Yeah, I can carry my weight in a lot of different areas and whatnot, but I've realized I have so many more resources than I thought. So that helped me get into it. And just like I said, flat out being able to just interact with people is just such a big deal to me. My mom told me straight up when I was a little kid, she said she hated bringing me to the mall because everybody ended up being my friend. Oh yeah, there's a little kid over there, I'm gonna go play with them. And my mom had to go look for me around the stores and stuff like that. I'd be like in the toy aisles just playing with random kids and whatnot and stuff like that. So I've always been very sociable. I've always like looked past people's issues to try to actually just sit down and conversate with them. Instead of looking at things from a face value, I always like to dig in a little bit. So that's why I made this show Behind Them Sticks, because it's like, yeah, you may think this thing from the get-go, but you have no idea what's on the inside and whatnot.
Yeah.
So and as I said earlier at the beginning of the show, RIP to Code, he's one of the main people. He didn't get me into podcasting, but he showed me that you don't have to agree with everybody at all.
Yeah.
To still be willing to talk to somebody, see their point of view, keep it moving. You got your own crew, you got your circle, right? But it's healthy to get out of your circle sometimes.
Yep.
It is extremely healthy to do that. So yeah, that's a pretty much like a cut down reason as to why I got into this. I the other person that I do this channel with, he lives in Mozambique, Africa.
Yeah,
he's my partner.
I could tell from his accent. I'm like, I feel like this dude doesn't live in America. I'm pretty sure he's from Africa. And they're like, wow, you just confirmed that. That's awesome though. That's really cool.
I met him just on Twitter, just talking, and he said something that I liked. And then I was like, yo, you got an Xbox? And he's like, yeah, I got an Xbox. This is my gamer tag. He's like, it's the same as my name on here, Loke7. And I was like, all right. Met up with him. We both downloaded Gears of War 5 and got and played the Hive Busters. We beat that game together. That was the first game me and him beat together. And then we got into what's that game by the people that make It Takes Two, Hazelight. What was that other game that they have that's similar? A Way Out. It's A Way Out. Yeah, so me and him ended up running through that game, and that game is like really impactful, especially the way that the end happens in that game. You're just like thrown for a loop, and ever since after that game, me and him were just like, we were like awesome. Butter and toast. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's like me with my best friend. Like I met her because she used to live in Egypt like all her life. And then like last year she came to the States and we met at like a job, and we're like best friends. It's like, it's crazy because they're like two completely different walks of life, but we get along really well and we have fun. I also have another friend that's also from Africa, and she's really awesome too. And it's so interesting how you could be like so different but click. It's really awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Loke is Mr. Suit and Tie and everything, and I'm just like Mr. Relax, kick back and bullshit. Yeah, very, very casual, almost to a detriment. But yeah, I mean, that's just what it is for me. But yo, Cassie, I really, really appreciate you for showing some love, coming on the show, doing your thing, spitting your facts and your opinions and everything like that. It was really interesting, and I'm happy to finally have you on here because this has been scheduled for quite some time now.
For a while.
But I got one last thing to ask you to do, and I ask everybody to do this at the end of the show. I even mentioned it at the beginning. I want you to describe gaming in just 3 words.
When you brought that question up, I was like, the only thing I could immediately relate it to is from a great film, literally called The Great Escape. That is what gaming, like the ideal paradise of gaming is for me, when like everything's just like gaming is at its peak for me. It is the great escape.
Fantastic. I mean, the words all went together. It meshed. It was real nice. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. If you haven't yet, hit that like button before you leave. If you enjoy these type of shows, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. I'm trying to get to 500 subs before the end of the year. So holla at your friends, holla at your family. Let them know that, yo, Ham Solo is trying to do his damn thing out here, and he talks to whoever the hell wants to chat about gaming and just keep it respectful. So I thank you, everybody, for showing up. And as I like to say at the end of every episode, keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, y'all.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me, Lennard Ray. That's your name. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world just me and you if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, boo. See, I'm a Midwest king looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream.